Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. How is everyone this fine Friday? It's Friday, everybody. What a week, what a week. You may have noticed I was not here on Wednesday. Woo Woo Wednesday. We had I'm gonna assume it's the flu. We don't really go to the doctor. Yeah, so we had a lot of that going on around here pretty much since last week, but things really, like this weekend and then earlier this week, really took a toll. Yeah, it's been rough. How's everyone else been doing? I've been on the mend now. I'm on the mend now. But there's just this deep level of anxiety and just stress that's really built up just as a result of this and just these energies. Let's just be honest. A lot of it is the energy. But when you get ill like this, it really is your body purging toxicity, purging density, purging just things that are out of alignment that don't need to be there anymore. So I didn't sit here and think, oh no, I'm sick. This sucks. It's so horrible. I mean, it did suck kind of, but I'm like, my body is purging. My body is leveling up. My mind was all over the place. That's something I just had this anxiety, this, I don't even know what you would call it. Just stress, just anxiety, just worry about the state of the world. And I have been very mindful about stepping off of social media and all of that because it's just a hot dumpster fire out there. But Solar Siren 209, hello. Brianna, hello. But Jessa, aka Solar Siren, and I were talking yesterday about, even if we're not actively watching the news, like it finds you. Like these big events that are going on with all these restructuring of the government and things, like they find you, whether you're like looking for them or not. So I'm just even stepping further back from, say, YouTube and all of that. Not so much me showing up on YouTube, although it may look like it because I wasn't here Wednesday, but just my consumption of content is going way down. I'm going a bit into hibernation mode, divine feminine cleansing mode. That's something I really want to lean more into my divine feminine. And I'm in a 5 personal year this year. So it really is about exploring and being more adventurous. But to me, really tuning into my own feminine energy and being able to trust that, the times that my masculine energy has to come forward, that, it's supporting it's acting as the container for my feminine energy. And the first feminine energy thing I did was I finally gave myself a haircut. Finally, I've been wanting to do this since like November. Finally did it on last Saturday before I got sick, but the rest of the house was not feeling well. Oh my gosh, it just feels so much lighter and more like me. Like this is how I like my hair to look. It's very short, like up in these layers here, very short, but I love that. Absolutely love that. I think I maybe need to go back through and kind of shorten up these back layers just a bit to add a little more layering. Because it's almost like 2 levels, which I don't like that. I think what I did, I was like, my arms were really getting tired because I did a dry cut this time. Normally I'll wet it and do the whole, it's not a unicorn. I've done the unicorn and it just makes level, like when I do the unicorn. So there's, oh gosh, what's her name? I always forget her name, but if anyone's interested, leave me a comment on this when it posts after being live, and I will go find her information and give that to you. It's a modified cut, but for curly girls. So yeah, for you to be able to do it yourself, because I don't know. I'm very particular about how I like my hair, and I've gotten many curly cuts in my day, but I've never enjoyed it or liked. I mean, I've enjoyed it, yes, but I've never liked the outcome as much as when I just do it myself. And let's be honest, last time I got a curly cut, it was like 130, but that was back in like 2018. That's the last time that I got an official haircut. That I think it's up over 300 now, and I'm just personally not comfortable spending that kind of money on my hair. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I'm just kind of embracing, like, trying new things with my makeup and stuff, leaning into my feminine. I kind of took it back old school. I lightened up my lipstick today, and I did like a glitter eye without all the, I don't know what it's called when you use multiple colors in your, what do you call it? Eyeshadow. But I normally do that. Like I have a look that I've done pretty much since before I, got married. And it was like my wedding look, and I just kept that for like indefinitely. I mean, the colors were slightly more subdued. It wasn't so dramatic, but yeah, I'm just got like a glittery like eyeshadow. Like very 90s. I feel forced to speak to people and would much rather say nothing to anyone who doesn't understand, not out of hate. I just don't care to debate or explain. Oh my gosh, same. And debating is such a masculine vibe too. Like, I mean, we each, can step into that masculine energy, but when like social media is very masculine. I mean, it puts us in our masculine because we are, you know, especially if you're going to debate someone or comment, if it's a more nurturing comment, I guess that's more feminine, but that's not what you see out there a lot. Yeah, Marlene's here. Hi, Marlene. Oh, you've done the unicorn haircut on myself and it came out bad. Yeah, yeah. I've done that before too, and I'm like, oh, I guess you live and learn. But I mean, I guess the good thing about having curly hair is it kind of hides it, so it's not. I'm not straight out here straightening it all the time, so it's going to be very obvious what happened with all the cuts. But yeah, so yeah, we do have one donation thus far from Jessa, but I would need her exact question because I did not see the exact question. I have an idea of what the question is, but I want to word it correctly when we come time to ask question. But we're also going to be doing our free energy collective reading, and it's for our collective, not like the greater collective, but our little niche here on the YouTubes. Kirsten's here. Amanda F. Hello, hello. Welcome, ladies. But yeah, so this last week has just been, and I would say really this whole year, or kind of even leading up into this year, has been very, let's just pull back. Let's be more subdued. Let's really just feel our feelings and not get so stressed out about all the things going on out there. And I found even just going to my subscription feed on YouTube and scrolling to pick out the things I want to add to my to-do list or my to-watch list is stressing me out. Like, just keeping up with all the videos and all the people I'm subscribed to. And I'm just like, I just need a mental vacation from all of it. Like, oh, you're home till Tuesday because of COVID bronchitis. Oh, and Wrigley's got this really deep, it's not like a wet cough at all. It's a very dry cough, but it's a very deep, dry cough that we just can't get rid of. So we're going to pull out all the stops with some oregano oil, which he's like, like he hates oregano oil. But I mean, it works so good. It's so good. My sister-in-law, who's a nurse practitioner, said disguise it with some orange juice. I mean, normally we don't buy juice. I mean, it's just not something we have in the house. But I'm willing to do that just to get him to drink it, because when I had that whole losing my voice thing back in November, I think that was November. Like that third week of November. Yeah, because it was after my mom's birthday, after leading up, we went to Libby to visit my mom. And I lost my voice, but I was just hitting that oregano oil. And what I did was I was gargling salt water. I did also drink just sea salt water. And I'd also add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to it. And then I'd add the oregano oil. I'm at a loss for words. I would add that, and it would help mask the taste. And I actually was like, okay, it's not so bad this way, but just trying to drink it with straight up water, it burns. Like if it, just a bit of that oil isn't mixed in right, it'll burn like your lip or your mouth. And it tastes awful. Just so concentrated. I love me some oregano, like spice, when you, with the herb, sprinkle it on in your spaghetti sauce or whatever. Like I love it that way, but to taste the oil straight up is like, oh my gosh, this is a little bit overkill. So if anyone has any hints, tips, tricks to especially get a 10-year-old boy who's very picky about things to take that would be great. Because I am thinking maybe the orange juice might help, but I'm knowing him, he's gonna find that taste of oregano and turn his nose up and not want to do it. You drank so much Pedialyte in the last 48 hours. I still can't stay hydrated. One of the best things you can do that I know personally that I've been using for Wrigley is eating watermelon, because it's more hydrating than any water and all of that. So if you can he loves watermelon. He loves, of course, any of the beige Becky foods, the beige little kid foods that we're trying to ooh, now my left ear's ringing. Trying to get him off of, just all the crap that isn't the best nutrition for him, but just into more things. He loves cucumbers as well. Those are his 2 favorites, cucumbers and watermelon. Yeah, they're both very hydrating when you are already dehydrated. Those 2 foods, just eating them, they contain such great water. It's a different structure than H2O. I think it's like an H3O. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's much more hydrating. Mix oregano oil and some hummus and everything bagel seasoning. Okay, yeah, Boston's like, oh, I love hummus, love hummus. Wrigley will eat it, but it's not his favorite. But I might try that. I might try that. Yeah, they both love the everything bagel seasoning as well. We actually, because that's what we have, is from the Super Bowl party not party, but gathering that my mother-in-law had at her house that I did not go to. I never go to it. I just usually my writing group falls on that day, and I just go to my writing group because I don't care about football or Super Bowl rituals or any of that. But anyway, we have some in the fridge from leftover from that. Yeah, in a sandwich, I could probably do that. Shot of oregano oil and cucumber water. There you go. I wonder if I could convince him. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try some things, but thanks for your suggestions. You guys are always awesome. Let's light up a little bit of incense. If you have any intentions you want to set with the incense, by all means, feel free. My main intention, I love it, is always just, cleansing, clearing, protection, all the fun things. Love it. All right, so we're going to get this going, and then we're going to get into our collective reading. We're just going to tune into the current energies and maybe some upcoming things, just anything we need to be aware of, especially my feminines. Like, I think we're really holding it down in the energetic realms right now that I got that a little bit too big, and so I had to put it out. Let me just get the little, there we go. That's what I was looking for. There we are. Okay. Because us feminines, we're really holding it down in the energetic realms where the more masculines are showing up in the 3D to help act as that container for all this like craziness going on in the more spiritual realms. And even if you're like, well, I'm not doing anything spiritual, if you're feeling kind of taken offline from the 3D world in any kind of way, you're doing spiritual work. Don't worry. You're doing the work. You were prescribed prednisone to try to help breathing because your inhaler wasn't doing much. Oh no. Yeah, breathing is like, such a luxury that we, when you can't do it properly, it's like scary. And I'm someone, I can't breathe out of my mouth. I can if I have to, like, especially if I'm exercising, I can obviously breathe out of my mouth. But like when my one or both nostrils are plugged and I have to breathe out of my mouth, I can't sleep because I physically can't do it. I can't, it makes me panic. So no one's ever going to be calling me a mouth breather over here. Yeah. I guess that's a good thing though. I learned though, I didn't even know that was a thing, that if you're more breathing out of your nose, especially when you sleep, that's better, especially for like the contouring of your jaw and stuff. I had no idea. It's just how I naturally operate. Had a home visit for work the other day and wore a mask. I had a fever and was sweating profusely. I felt so embarrassed. Aw, don't feel embarrassed because you didn't feel good. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, yes, we're going to get into our collective reading here and just see what we need to know. And if we can uncover, I would maybe like to start with like, what is going on exactly? Yeah. We're being asked to step into that feminine energy, but of all the female queens in the deck, she's probably the most in her masculine, I would say, just because she's in the mother energy, which of the maiden, the mother, and the crone, the mother is the most in her masculine energy because she's taking care of everybody's needs, everybody's whims, and what have you. She looks like me. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I do have a couple that I'm like, oh, I love this. And at my favorite store, Rock and Rudy's, I'm going to have to take a picture of the mural on the outside of the building because every time we pull up there, my kids are like, Mommy, it's you. She's got like these big orange hair. She's holding a coffee and a ice cream cone. And I'm like, yeah, it's cute. But anyway, yes, this is about, look at all the pentacles stored up. Like she has so much stored up energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally, not in a bad way, but like resource to pull from, that she can easily take care of other people's needs. What I'm seeing mostly energetically is so many feminines are having to almost either be forced because partners aren't stepping up, they don't have a partner, is helping them and conditioned or programmed, that they're operating so much in their masculine energy that, it's time. It's time to step back. As much as you can. Although those of you out there, that have families to raise and you're the breadwinner or whatever, you can't step back fully. I get that. But this is just about allowing yourself to only give from your overflow. I mean, look at all this overflow here. But when you're already tapped out, to try to give someone something, it's depleting you. Damn, called out, right? And I mean, I get it. You're the breadwinner, you're the sole parent, like that's a thing. That's a thing. And we can't ignore that because like the 3D be 3D and out here for sure. But when you can step into your receptive feminine energy, all of you, and especially Solar Siren, that's when you can open your hands to receive whatever it is that the universe is trying to bring in. And that's my biggest issue. And that's one of the biggest, if you want to sum up masculine energy and feminine energy, masculine gives, feminine receives. Like that's the fundamental basic of what that means. And it's been forever and a day in this lifetime that it's been so difficult for me to receive, or if I receive something, I feel like I have to turn around and give that gift right back or pay it forward somehow. I can't just sit in that reception. A perfect example would be when Brandy Lynn donated and just said Merry Christmas. And instead of just graciously accepting that gift and thanking her and just being very grateful, which I was, but then I had to turn around and give her a reading because she sent that. And that's not what she was looking for, but I did it anyway. And then after the fact, I'm like, I should have just accepted it. Like, but it's like, that's my big wound that I'm working through currently and moving into my future. Like it's my priority right now is to work through my feminine wounding and my masculine wounding as well, because we have both. And when a woman who feels like they're a woman and wants to be a woman is operating mostly in her masculine energy, there's always going to be something missing because her feminine energy is what's meant to be front and center. And then, it's like that 80-20 rule. 80% of your showing up in the world should be your feminine energy if you want to identify as that feminine energy. And then the 20% can be the masculine, which is holding as the container to hold in all that beautiful feminine energy and the initiating and the giving and the doing and all of that. But, when we're forced either by society or circumstances or our upbringing or whatever to more operate in that masculine energy, that's where we start to build resentment, start to feel the burnout. I mean, the burnout is real out here right now, folks, for the feminines who are operating in the masculine. The burnout is real. And I really do feel like right now is that time that the universe is like, hey, feminines, sit your ass down and just be. Feel what you're feeling. Feel that anxiety that's coming up for so many of us. Feel that absolute exhaustion that sleep cannot heal, because that's where I'm at right now. It's like waking up is no problem, but like around 10 a.m., I just start to yawn. And then by 3 p.m., I'm like, holy God, I need a nap. I did take the week off from my other job because I knew if I didn't and I just tried to push through and do like the chat only feature on that website, it would have been a crash and burn situation. So I stepped back and I wanted to allow myself to receive the help I needed, which was me taking care of my own damn self by just stepping out of the rat race for, a few days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now today's Friday. So 4 days. And here I'm like thinking everything's going to crash down, everything's going to fall apart if I don't keep grinding. But like, no, because intuitively I know everything's going to be fine. And I'm lucky enough to have that masculine man in my life that's like, no, I will go to the store. What do you need? Like, no problem. And in fact, it brings him joy to go out and serve his family, which is amazing. But then there's that part of me that's like, well, how am I going to give back to him? How do I make this equal? It's like, that's not what this is supposed to be. Take care of your damn self, woman. So that's where I'm at. So a lot of what I'm currently going through is really being reflected also in the energies of sit your ass down. And even if there are people in your life that are like, no, you're being lazy, you're not giving enough, you're not, you know, over giving, like some of this, they're not in their healed masculine energy, especially if it's a masculine that's expecting you to just show up and, be whatever. The mother, the lover, the roommate, the whore, the whatever, I don't know. Whatever men are looking for in a partner, could be any aspect or a multitude of. But when you can actually do the things that bring you joy and happiness, you're actually feeding someone who's in alignment with their own masculine energy. You're not taking away from, you're only enhancing and inspiring their masculine energy. And that's something I'm trying to get through my thick head because I know it in my heart, I know it in my bones, I know it in my spirit. But it's like my mind is getting in the way, all the programming and well, there's that guilt that comes up every time my husband gives me a gift that, I mean, it's Valentine's Day today. And I was following that intuition to not get him a gift. Like there are times I always thought this was like the autistic or like pathological demand avoidance part of me. Like for me to give my kids gifts, my mom a gift, my girlfriend's gifts, it feels like the most natural thing. But to try to give my husband, who could go out right this second and buy himself anything his heart desires, to give him a gift almost feels like a fraud because I'm not giving him anything he can't get for himself. And not to say that, the things he buys me, I couldn't go out and get for myself. I totally could. But it's just it hits different. And so I'm trying not to feel that guilt. I'm trying to just receive and, feel gratitude for the bath pillow he gave me for Valentine's Day, which is something I really wanted and needed, but just wasn't, again, we're in this I'm only upgrading things around here that need replaced or what have you. I'm not like frivolously spending. And in my mind's eye, I was like, oh, that's a frivolous spend. But like at the same time, the bath time is my self-care, taking care of myself time. So it wouldn't even have been a frivolous thing. So like very thoughtful on his part, right? Yeah. We catch up on some of your comments and we're going to pull more cards. I swear I'm getting more into the reading, but yeah. I'm learning that I need at least 3 or 4 days during the month to take extreme rest. Oh, I feel you on that. Sort of like a bear needs a hibernate. I've been fighting it, but it throws off my equilibrium for sure. Oh, Amber's here. Hi, Amber. Yes, men do love side quests. I love that. Aw. Oh, Kirsten wants to go to sleep, but she's waiting for her medicine for delivery, so I'll be here for a while. Well, yes, you take all the care and rest you need because that's going to be what helps you move through this even faster. Yeah, it is a confirmation that he knows me. Oh, yeah, and it's just so nice. It's just so nice to know that, like, even without words, I mean, I'm always like trying to share, like, oh, I feel anxious and I don't know why. Like, I try to share those things with him, not for him to fix them per se, but just to let him know where I'm at, But that's something I'm learning to come back from because he does have, I guess for a way to put this, is two very needy parents. That it's like he kind of has to be the husband at my house and at his parents' house to make sure everything gets done, everything's in order, everything's working, everything's fixed. To where a lot of times around here, things can really slip through the cracks because I'm not a squeaky wheel and I will just kind of keep those needs, those problems, those issues, those emotions in until they burst. Which Mars and Saturn in the 12th house, that's where that comes in big time. I'm not blaming the planets, I'm just saying that's how things were established for sure. Yeah. During the last full moon, I had a dream about a bed that never gave myself time to sleep in. The bed was right by a door and I wouldn't let myself rest. Oh, how profound and how like fitting for so much of the feminine collective right now. Oh my gosh. It's confirmation that your partner knows you. Yeah. No, but it's the thought that counts. Absolutely. Yeah, the thought is everything. Oh, you missed the whole message. Well, we're just still kind of getting into it. No worries. We pulled one card and then I went off on like 40 side tangents because you guys know me and the way I do things here. Yeah, absolutely, Kirsten. If you want to do that, I can totally timestamp anytime you need it. All right. So let's see. Anything else we need to know? And just why? Why is this recalibration happening? It came out in my lap like this, but I want to pull it up. It's because, when if the sun were to reverse what the sun does, game over. Game over for all of us, not just the feminines, but like everybody. But like even the sun in reverse in the tarot is still a good message. So why is this happening? To bring reestablish things, to uninvert things, because things are inverted. So I don't know what the opposite word of inverted would be. Exverted? I don't know. Taking things back to the original or the way they're supposed to be. The way they're supposed to be. Oh, you're sitting in the shade with the sun coming in your living room. I wish that was my case. It's kind of lightly snowing out here with just a white sky. I mean, that sky is bright white out there right now. But this is happening to help us realign with who we're meant to be on a spiritual and a natural body level, not natural to the matrix, but natural to the original divine matrix of this place. That's why we're feeling this recalibration. So how can we best support ourselves through this recalibration? And even men, you're not left out of this equation because 20% of your operation is the feminine, right? So 20% of you, operationally speaking, is feminine energy. According to the, you wanting to be 80% in your masculine energy and maybe 20% in your feminine. All right. So what can we do? Okay, yeah. Acknowledge the burdens. Acknowledge the fact we can't do it all the time at top maximum capacity at all times. And it's taking me back to the 4 agreements. Do your best in every moment. Well, your best when you're down and out, feeling really sick and ill, like Kirsten, is going to be completely different than when you're like living you just got the best news of your life and you just feel like you want to kiss somebody. Your best in each of those moments is going to be vastly different, but you're still showing up as your best version in whatever energy you're in. That's what I'm getting here is our advice. Don't do that one next thing that's going to tip you over, because my feminines out here, we all can feel when we're getting to that point, usually well before we're actually over the point, It's just we choose to ignore it because A, family, B, expectations, work, insert blank here. But when you can actually step back into your feminine energy and realize that nobody, not me, not my husband, not my kids, not my boss, not is going to benefit from me over pouring and then needing even more time out from my day-to-day to try to like recalibrate or gain back what I need. So maybe you're pissing people off because you're not at 100% capacity 100% of the time. Well, that says a lot more about them than it says about you. So if you have people like that in your life, and tens are a new beginning. So do you want to just start a new cycle where you're going to end up burned out again? Or do you want to take your power back by going within, honoring what you need, and not just what you need, but also what you want? What do you want? What do you want? Because that's also just as valid as your needs. I think needs, of course, take priority. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, not Maslow's hierarchy of wants. Your needs are definitely going to take priority, but do not sideline your wants for too long either, because that is just as valid and important, but in different ways. All right. So how else can we navigate these recalibrations that many of us are feeling like we're kind of being taken out? Not taken out like, but like energetically taken out, stepping back, going to the back burner, going to the sideline of our own life for a while so we can catch our breath and just, let that sensory overload or overburdened energy simmer down. All right, advice. It's going to look different for each of you. So it's not like, here's the cold cut, clear cut plan, do it X, Y through Z, and you're going to be like living your best life. It's going to be different for each of you. And I feel the need to maybe pull 2. Yeah, let's do a pick a card style like our other one went into. And we'll do it this way. We'll do card 1 and card 2. If you're drawn to both cards, there's probably a message in each for you. So the best path forward for you to really integrate and honor yourself and move forward through all of this. So we'll pull card 1, which is the Ace of Swords. So there's card 1 and card 2. Card 2 is, drum roll please. Oh, you get 2. Ooh, King of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands. Okay, so pile 1. And if you're drawn to all or all of it, both of it, feel free. Um, you'll intuitively know which one you're or both or all that you're guided to. So pile 1, pile 2. Best path forward. So for pile 1, Ace of Swords, friends, this is just gonna be about giving yourself time to actually figure out what is it the hell that you want. What is it that you want? What the hell do you want? That's what I'm trying to say. What do you want? It's like, isn't it on the movie The Notebook when the guy's like asking the girl, like, what do you want? I don't even remember what her response to that was or like what led up to that point because I've only seen that movie maybe once many, many years ago. But I can just see the meme part of it, like, what do you want? I think maybe even she says, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I don't remember. Those of you that have seen the movie or know, maybe you can fill us in here. It might be relevant. But what I'm seeing with this is you getting the clarity by stepping back, not pushing through and trying to grind even harder, hit those goals even harder, whatever it is, whatever it is. Unless you're feeling aligned to continue moving forward, of course, follow that. But intuitively, what are you being called to do? For most of you that are here, that is to kind of pull your energy back and assess or reassess for some of you, what's going on? Is this the life I even want to live? Is this the relationship I even want to explore? Is this the career I even want to be in? Or is it burning me the F out? You know, whatever it is, whatever it is. But there's some clarity that's coming in as a result of you deciding to put yourself first for once. Clarity will be coming in. Let's pull one of these little cryptid messages, little cryptid messages for pile 1. Best path forward for pile 1. Movement. Okay. So even sometimes taking that step back, that's still movement because you've made a choice, you've made a decision, and you're going in a direction of sorts. And it's actually going to lead you to greater momentum in the long haul rather than continuing to try to push forward and then burning out and maybe even having to take extra time out that you didn't even need to down the road. It's like Brianna was saying earlier about, I know there's about 4 days that I need just this absolute rest during the month. And when she honors that, she's probably feeling a lot better than if she doesn't. So movement, you're still gaining that movement or, moving forward, even if you are having to take a step back. Because sometimes, remember, to pull that arrow back, to shoot that arrow forward, sometimes you got to pull it back a ways. It doesn't just, if you were to just let it go right here, it just falls straight down. You're not getting anywhere. Especially the feminines out there, sometimes we just need to take that step back and examine and assess and sometimes reassess, like what is it I need? What do I need to know? Yeah. So that's still forward momentum, even if it feels like 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps back. You're still going forward. Okay. Now pile 2, best path forward is, again, honoring your intuition is the first thing. But I do see you not only recovering, but again, like almost like a quantum leap. And wow, this is going so fast today. It's almost out. All the trials and tribulations you've been through, pile 2, are going to lead to success and victory and recognition for some of you. Recognized as an example or as an inspiration, like, wow, she's not taking crap from anyone or he's not taking crap from anyone. And that's actually, yes, leading you maybe towards some masculine accomplishments or masculine energy accomplishments, but it's not at the detriment of your feminine energy of honoring the need to take this step back right now, So that's what's really coming through with this because it's going to lead to more financial abundance if you allow yourself to pull back, especially those of you that are worried or the breadwinner or, having to provide in some way and having to step into your masculine energy quite a bit because of life circumstances or relationship dynamics or a work situation, whatever it is. If you're having to do that, still honoring your feminine energy and stepping back when and where you can, even if you can't take the day off work, at least maybe take the evening as a more quiet, subdued, pull your energy back and just ask yourself, what do I want? What can I give myself right now? Peace, quiet, meditation, a good cry. What is it I need right now? Because that's going to lead you to that ultimate victory and you're going to be taken care of either by your own masculine energy or a masculine in your life, energetically speaking. It's not just like cut and dry 3D, like you pay my bills, you don't pay my bills. It's more energetic than just that simple cut and dry. All right, what else does pile 2 need to know? Best path forward for pile 2. And we have here fear. So your best path forward, of course, is to face the fear, not be fearful. I mean, that's just going to come up anyway. We don't have any control over being afraid of something or not. It's a visceral reaction. So your best path forward is actually face it. And that can be the most scary thing. And some of the biggest fear that us feminines will go through in our lives is showing that more vulnerable side of us, or allowing our own selves to go there, to feel those feelings, to dive into that shadow, whatever it is, just facing that fear, whatever that fear is. And even if you don't know what your greatest or deepest fears are, I mean, you don't even have to sit here and try to pinpoint them, but just know that whatever comes up that doesn't feel good, usually there's a fear, or if there's a resistance to something, it's because usually of fear. So this really is about when you're starting to feel that resistance with, a conversation you're having with someone, or looking at your bank account and starting to go there in your head, like, how am I going to make this next rent payment? Whatever it is, face those fears, lean into them and ask them, what are you trying to tell me? And again, it's going to be different for each of you because we all have different fears and reasons behind those fears. So it's not just this cut and dry, simple, whatever. And that's for kind of, I guess, where your homework would come in is for pile 2. What fears are coming up and why? And even if you don't identify why, but just facing or acknowledging those fears are there sometimes is half the battle, because a lot of us try to push it away before it becomes a solidified thing. When we can face that, even if we don't know how to overcome it, just holding space and knowing I'm afraid right now, usually those ways through it will come to you because you're willing to shine some light or attention on it long enough to get that solution to come through. It's just that so many of us are programmed, or I guess programmed would probably just be the right word to use. When we're feeling any resistance or fear, that we go numb ourselves with food or, drugs, alcohol, sex, distraction, binge watching Netflix or YouTube, or going on social media, or overcompensating, or whatever coping mechanism we may have. We all have something that we do to try to avoid feeling those feelings or allowing those thoughts to come up, or whatever it is. So here's the part where we go back into the collective reading, so everybody can come back in. Anything else we need to know moving forward with just this need to relax and step back? There you go. Even if you didn't select pile 1, your clarity is still coming, pile 2. But for those of you that selected pile 1, pile 2, or just pile 1 or whatever, obviously your clarity is still coming. Any confusion you have, you're going to be cutting through it. And I see within 2 weeks, you're getting a major epiphany, aha moment, clarity. This feels very spirit-led. So the more you can be in your spirit, or allow your spirit to embody, because that's the thing. We think, my spirit's in my body. It's not. Your body is within your spirit to some degree. So allow that spirit to shine even brighter and surround you. And it's going to help you feel more like you're embodying that spiritual. And as you do that, it literally shines a light on all the density and the issues and the problems in your life, which again, that's when people try to step back from their, shadow work or their meditation or whatever, because, I don't like how this makes me feel, because things are now coming to the surface that were buried down deep. And that's where people can kind of get in this, myself included, from time to time, I can get here, where, you do all this work and then your 3D is not matching the level up that you just did spiritually. And it starts to bump up against you, and then you start to resist it and pull back and almost kind of go back into your old ways. Been there so many times. So you're not alone if you feel like, well, I tried, but then I was back in my old ways, saying the same old things, doing the same old things, avoiding the same old fears, whatever it is. that's human and that's valid. But there comes a time where we're going to, each of us probably in our own timing, overcome that resistance and push through and it never be an issue again after that. All right, let's get a clarifying life, why do I say life-changing with this? Clarifying life situation card to close out our collective. And then we did have a donation come in from Kirsten. And we, of course, have Jessa first here. Release and renew. Embrace the flow of letting go. To welcome renewal. Allow new energy to shape your path. That's pretty much what we were just saying. But sometimes it can be difficult to where we thought we let go, but we're still like white knuckle death grip. I mean, my knuckles do look very white in this lighting. White knuckle death grip in it. Sometimes we just need to drop it. Let it go. Let it flow. All right. So I hope that resonated for you and brought you some clarity and guidance today. Hi, Kashvi. Aw, 5-day holiday. So fun. Yeah, my kids will be here Monday. And they had last Monday off for teacher development day. But Wrigley pretty much had the whole week off until yesterday because he was sick. And yeah. Oh, you dreamt release and let go. Oh, that's amazing. All right. Good to see you, Linda. I hope you're doing well. So let's see. Let me catch up on a couple comments here, and then we're going to get into Jessa's reading. Jessa, go ahead and post your question if you haven't already. You definitely felt that energy around Christmas. We all got sick. And normally, I would say since COVID year, pretty much every even year, we get this sickness, right? Like from Christmas to January 1st or whatever. And then every odd year, this sickness hits us kind of late January, early February. But this year it came a little bit later than that even. So who knows? Who knows what's going on? But a lot of what is going on out there with the things they're manipulating with the weather and the frequencies and stuff, I will put it out there that it is causing a lot of what we're experiencing. But also, we wouldn't be experiencing that if we hadn't leveled up energetically so much that it affects our field the way it does. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch of, yes, frequencies coming in to support us, but also there's those bombardment frequencies that are coming in to attack us. And it all kind of creates this, I don't even know what you want to call it, amalgamation of craziness in our physical body. Yeah, or at least it feels that way. Intentionally did that realignment on Tuesday. I'll say message today, laying in bed, asking why I'm sick. And the answer was codes coming in from the sun. Yeah, definitely a lot of activity coming in from the sun, for sure. For sure. As always, both. Amber selected both. Yeah, some peace and flow and abundance, maybe. I've been wanting to write a resignation to spirit. I'm done. I'm checking out. A lot of people do that by unaliving, themselves. That's something people do, but then they don't realize that it didn't actually solve anything. But yeah, just like as far as like false matrix contracts, yes, please do say I'm done with those. Please do. Rip them all up, shred them, whatever ritual you need to do, because we don't need to be in here playing by the matrix rules anymore. And in fact, the more we do, the more we're going to get burned. The more we try to be these feminines leading in our masculine energy, we're just going to keep getting burned. It used to serve us, and we used to be able to make all this money doing it and earn all these success and rewards and accolades doing it. But with these other energies coming in, if we're not stepping as feminines into our feminine energy as our predominant energy field, we're going to get burned. And then we're going to get burned again. Or if you're over giving, again, that's not feminine, because that's a masculine energy. The mother energy, whether you're mothering your husband, your children, whatever, especially if your children are getting, beyond like age 7, you can be teaching them to take care of some of their own stuff. And that's what I've been doing with my kids, but I need to step it up even more, especially with Boston. I want him to start doing his own laundry. Like we're there. I'm ready. It's time. I also need, as mom, to get this room cleared out so Wrigley can get in here, because that's so important for them, as the ages they are. It's such a friction between the two of them right now that Boston will be in high school next year and his brother is still in elementary school next year, and they would still be sharing a room next year. I hope not. I need to just get it figured out. But again, I don't want Wrigley in this room with all of the modem and the Wi-Fi and all the, computery things that I don't know the names of, modems and routers and those over there. Because that's not good to sleep in a room with all of that going on. So that's all going to have to be, and my husband being in IT, he's a network, well, he was a network architect at his last job, but has been a network engineer for most of his career and is also a network engineer now. He has the skills and capability to wire this place up correctly and get all of this equipment out in my craft closet, which will no longer be my craft closet because I'm giving that up for all of the equipment. And like our Wi-Fi goes off after a certain time, but I actually want to eventually get it to a point where we have a few wired in Ethernet ports in the house to where we're not using Wi-Fi at all in the house, because it's so damaging to our cells and our energy fields that I want to do away with our Wi-Fi for good and just have Ethernet cables, maybe a few stations around the house, where I work at the table with my laptop, and my husband will work down there too when he's home. Of course, the computer and homework stations for the kids, which are these two when they're here. When they need a computer, this is where they are. But yeah, especially with iPads and stuff, they're, that's all Wi-Fi. It's I want to do my due diligence to make things better. And I'm even looking to replace a lot of the light bulbs back to the better light bulbs. Because these ones, especially the ones that my in-laws have, I can see them pulsating. It's they're not on the whole time, as just a steady glow. They pulsate super fast, but I can see it now. I didn't see it before, but I can see it now. And it drives me absolutely batty when I'm out there. All of their lights are just, it's like I'm going to have a seizure. But I notice certain car lights, you can pick it up. This is the thing. I've been able to, in my backup camera on my car when I'm backing out, in the morning, especially because it's dark here in the morning when I drop the kids off. In the backup camera, you can see the lights kind of blinking on the cars because they're not at a steady rate. They blink. Even your phone. Oh, my phone's not in here. I'm trying not to carry my phone everywhere with me, and I'm doing pretty good about it. It's been a hard journey with that phone addiction thing going on. But yes, when you hold your phone up to another camera source, you can see that blinking light. Well, your phone is constantly blinking at your face. And I'm now starting, I don't know if this is just this most recent energy shift or what, but I'm now able to almost see that, I don't know if it's a refresh rate or what it is with the lights and the cameras and stuff, but it's causing a lot of my headaches and migraines, I think. Especially the most recent one, I had almost 5 day, it was 4.5 day migraine and headache situation. And it wasn't the same migraine that I used to get with that helmet of pain. It was slightly different. Tuning in, yes, there was another helmet, but not the same one that the Matrix put back on. This is a constant thing, you guys. It's just constant. But we can do little things or even big things, like changing out light bulbs to something that's more, none of the light bulbs are natural and safe anymore. None of them. Let's just put that out there. But some are more safe than others. So if we can, do our due diligence to give us the safest food, the safest water, the safest light bulbs, the safest, cutting off your Wi-Fi if you can, especially when you're sleeping. You don't need to have your Wi-Fi on. There's no reason to have the Wi-Fi on. You can turn it off. And that'll greatly improve your sleep and the depth of your sleep and the restfulness of your sleep if you can turn off the Wi-Fi, for sure. Yeah. So there's things we can do. Even though this whole matrix is set up and it's getting their system of control is trying to get tighter and tighter and turn the screws tighter and tighter, but we have more power here than we have given ourselves credit, that we can take our power back in a lot of ways. Even if, your neighbor's doing this thing and this guy down here's doing that and the government's doing this, you can level yourself up so much that some of these frequencies just won't even affect you anymore. Maybe the lighting situation isn't even a factor anymore because you've done your due diligence and you're leveling up. I don't know. It just feels there's a big break coming for, Matrix people and people who are I've had enough of this. Let's do something different. And many of us have been there for a long, long time. I've been there since around 2012. No, Absolutely not. Never gonna work this job because I know it doesn't align with me, or that job, or go about my life in this way because it just doesn't align with me. But hey, maybe my neighbor, it aligns perfectly, and that's amazing. But I'm just, it's about being authentic. Maybe what's authentic to one person is not authentic to another. And that's where authenticity is going to start to pay our bills. Maybe more figuratively speaking than literally, but eventually also literally. When you can be who you're designed to be, not through this matrix lens, but from your spirit lens, when you can be calm and step into who you're meant to be here, that is going to pay your bills because you're going to find something so aligned. It may still be considered a job, most likely, to where you're doing this job or offering this service or whatever it is for the people that are desperately seeking that service. And you're authentic, so you can give them from your authenticity and they can receive from your authenticity, because that's what's lacking. I would say probably 90+%, 95+, 99+% of business out there is lacking that authenticity. A lot of it may start authentic, but then they will get big enough, and then some big conglomeration will come in and buy them out, and then it's back to unauthentic. So that's why, there's this call, and this is something I've been tuning into for a long time. There's just going to be this call. It's going to become even louder and louder and louder into the future to be your authentic self. And now's the time to start figuring out, well, who the fuck is that, right? The F word coming on out. It's like, who am I? Who authentically am I? Because so many of us, we may think we know, and then we go through another dark night of the soul or another, whatever, and we uncover even more layers of falsity or the false matrix programming or whatever it is. And it's not to say that that version you were being before when you thought you were being authentic wasn't authentic, because it was. It was just as authentic as you could be in the current energy. But when you have this desire to continue to level up and pull back all of the falsity that's not you, that is you being authentic. Even if you're more authentic 5 years from now than you are now, that doesn't mean you're not trying to be authentic now. So just whatever scrap of authenticity you have now, take it and run with it, because that is your superpower. That is your gift. That is your spiritual purpose, whatever your authenticity is. And it's going to shift and change as you shift and change, because it's meant to. All right. We got Kirsten's question, which I'll come back to. Yeah, this is more me right now, but also feel disconnect with my intuition since mid-J. And that's the thing. I was gonna say this, and I think I have said this previously, but when you feel like you've kind of hit this like spiritual plateau with your intuition, your gifts in some way, you gotta just kind of step back for some perspective, because here's your perspective. You take the version of you that's as intuitive as you feel you are right now, even if you feel it's stagnated or it's just, where did my intuition go? It's gone. But then you compare that to yourself 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You're still going to see like, oh, wow, no. Like, I'm so much more in tune than I was then, now, like so much more. And when something feels, you're in a hot bath and at first it's hot and you're just like, oh, maybe it's a little too hot. Not for me. Nothing's too hot for me in the bath. Oh my gosh, I love a hot bath. But once your body gets used to it, you're almost like, I think it's cold in here. It's cold now. But then like my, Wrigley just barges into the bathroom and he'll put his hand, he's like, it's hot. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like lukewarm at this point. But no, you've gotten so used to it that it's just your flat line, your normal, your average. But it still leaps and bounds above, where your gifts were before. So that's something I like to remind not just myself, but you guys when I can, that, and even if you do feel like, well, my intuition did go offline, I don't have access to it. You do. It just may feel a little weird, a little stagnant right now, because there's so much, usually when there's a lot of sensory overload or input coming in, it just quiets that intuitive voice so much. So when you feel like, oh, my intuition went offline, I don't have any gifts anymore, just step back from the hubbub and the rat race. Step back. Stop consuming content, or as much anyway. Stop, putting yourself so extroverted if you can. And just go within, because that you'll know that voice is still there. And in fact, it's just as strong as ever. It's just the anxiety of, I think I've lost it, is like kind of taking over. So I can guarantee you've never lost it. It's always been there, even when you didn't think you had any. Oh. Can you believe it? Oh, something on Wrigley's iPad just popped up. Sometimes there's a message in those things, so let's see. What is this? I don't even know how to work this thing. No, come on. You gotta be smarter than the technology, and apparently mom is not as smart. What do I do? I don't even know how to. Oh, there we go. Ooh, did something. Okay. This game makes the rust in my brain drop off. Huh. Okay. I don't know what game that was. Oh, how did I do that? There we go. It's like a brain breaks math game, I think he has on there, something like that. I feel like there's a message in that somehow. I don't know. All right, let's catch up on comments, and we're gonna get into Jess's question. Been wanting to do resignation to spirit. Yeah. Disconnect from intuition since mid-January. I feel like I'm imposter syndrome at times. I mean, I think we've all been feeling that imposter syndrome. But a lot of times when you feel like an imposter, real imposters never have that imposter syndrome. They think, no, I got it all figured out. It's fine. It's good. Ego leads the way, leads the show. So if you ever feel like that imposter, that should let you know you're not an imposter, okay? Maybe you don't have it all figured out, but like you're not bottom of the barrel either, for sure. No way. I did that in a journey 2 days ago. I just tuned in and you are doing pile 2 well with my new job. I was on probation and the new federal administration just let us all on probation all go right now. Oh my gosh. Banana Annas, I'm so sorry. But hey, I feel like there's a breakthrough coming because of all of this. Like it's going to lead to something better. I just feel that for so many of us that are going through something, it's leading to something more in alignment with our authenticity. Yeah, big hugs to you, Anna. I'm so sorry. I love the support. You guys are so sweet in the comments here or the chat. I face my shadow and fear together. It was something I feel there are more fears that I need to face. Oh man, for sure. Me too. All of us, I'm sure. Yeah, clarity will come after we work. Oops, it just skipped. After we work on the fear and the shadow. Yes. I've been wondering what that is that I am not letting go. Amanda's looking tired today. Believe me, I am pretty tired today. Not so much like sleepy tired, but just like an overall exhaustion of life tired. And I'm not wearing my regular makeup, so I do look a little different than normal, maybe. I mean, you guys have seen me without makeup too, so like there's a difference. Normally I wear darker eye makeup. I went the 90s glitter route today. I'll just show her a little close up. There we go. 90s glitter. Oh, I have my phone in the other room, so I will go get that. Message from David. Your kids remind me of the Wonder Years series. Oh my gosh, it's been so many years since I've seen that, but I used to love that show. That's a compliment. I love that show. And then Kirsten has another question. Cool. And I will timestamp for her. She's going to go sleep it off. She's not feeling so hot. Well, we hope you feel better, Kirsten. I know phone and TV as well, just to calm my anxiety and overactive ego. And it's weird because normally I'd put like music on or a podcast or an audiobook, and that would just like ease the anxiety. But now I'm finding it's actually adding to my anxiety to where I can't even focus on the words of the audiobook or the music, even if it's a song I've listened to over and over. Like I'm just like, this is too much. It's too much. It's too much. To where I love like a sensory overload. Like that's my vibe, ADHD, fun times. But I'm finding right now, especially these last 2 weeks, like I'm craving absolute silence. I mean, my dog snoring or the rain falling, no rain, but like, those types of sounds are very soothing to me. Even my kids just kind of talking quietly. Soothing. That's soothing. But I'm finding like music of any kind, even the kind I love, I'm just not here for it right this second. And that's weird for me. I don't think there's maybe a handful of times in my life where I'm like, ooh, just turn everything off. Let me just drive to school in silence, drive home from school, not listening to an audiobook or a podcast or music. I just want to drive in silence, which is rare for me, but not like never. Like I've never done that. Like there are times in my life where that's what I crave is just a bit of silence or just a bit of time to introspect with my own thoughts, my own energy, And I'm there right now. Like even just like I went on Facebook to check something out, and before I knew it, I was scrolling. Just an automatic response to going on there after I went to look what I was looking at, and then I noticed like my anxiety was starting to creep in again, and I'm like, what am I doing? Take my power back. Get off of here. This is not even feeling good right now. So what am I doing? Yeah, true. They want to jump on the true authentic work. That's what takeovers and mergers are all about. Yep. Girl, preach it, says Solar Siren. Sure, I'm more in tune. Also, I love the hot bath. Me too. My baths are more like inner journey. I just decide that it's what it is, let it go, and what is in my hand. Yeah, I love that. And another thing, this is kind of a nuance that I used to try to let go of the emotions. Let go, just like feel them, let them go. Just let it go. But what I really knew I needed to let go of, like, because the emotions wouldn't come out or they wouldn't flow, or I thought I did the meditation where I let things go, and then, an hour after my bath and I'm doing whatever, like they're still there. But no, bitch, I let this go. Like, why is it still here? Well, because what you're supposed to actually let go of is the need to control feeling this or that, or not feeling this or not feeling that. Just surrendering to what is and not trying to force it or push it or force it to flow. Because when you just give it the right conditions and allow it, it will flow. Maybe not right in your timing, but in its own timing, it will flow. So it's not the surrender or letting go of the feelings themselves, although setting the intention to do so is very powerful, very valid. But surrendering and letting go of the need to control how long you feel that anxiety, how long you feel that stress or that anger or whatever insert negative emotion you don't want to feel here. Because when we're in those really happy emotions, we're never wanting to force them to keep move it along now, move it along. I don't want to feel happy anymore. Never would you do that. Never. Yeah. So, what math game? Let me see. Yeah, Wrigley loves math games. And for a while there, those were the only games we were allowing him to play because we just wanted him to not be so on his screens. Okay. Gotta be smarter than iPad. I don't know what I did last time, but it worked. Oh, there we go. Can this game... Okay. Let's see. We're opening it to find out. Vita Math Puzzle. Is this the name of it? Let me see. Okay, how do I... Oh, there we go. So let me... Okay, so I guess it's called Vita. It's just, the icon looks like this. And Vita Math Puzzle. I think. Yeah, okay, so it's down here in the little thing. Right there. And I'm going to assume it's free. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's a free game. Oh, she's already onto it. Oh, I love it. Yeah. And I'm sure there's probably different levels and stuff that, she's more advanced. She could find something that's going to actually challenge her. Okay, let's see. For sure, I am more in tune. Love the hot bath. Yeah, we did know that. Align with what is happening with me and Kashfi. Don't want to control her, but it seems difficult to let that feeling go. Oh, right, for sure. And as a mom, I mean, that's part of what we need to do is kind of wrangle them in, give them boundaries and a container through which to, live their lives. But yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get into Solar Siren after taking a quick drink of water. Okay. So Solar Siren, I'm going to go actually grab my phone because that's where she said the question was, because I left my phone in my room. So I'm going to go grab that. And I will be right back. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to timestamp just in case, because Odin's most likely at school today. I think he's feeling better, and he's back at school now, so that's good. So we're going to timestamp. We're at 1 hour and 4 minutes, 48 seconds. Okay. And this is for Odin. And we want to... So what do I need to know from Papa? So this is for Odin from his Papa, his father that passed away. Okay, so here we go. So what does Odin need to know from Papa? Tuning into Papa's true spirit. Okay. Aw, he is proud of you. He's proud of you. Look at that. 9 of Pentacles is your hard work paying off, and this is like home, family, contracts, hard work paying off. So like all the hard work you're putting into things, he sees what you're doing. He sees, all the effort you're putting in. He still loves you. He's still looking out and protecting you. This is a card of protection, so there's still that protective element going on here. It's interesting because there's something to do eventually with Odin's career that I do see Papa is like holding space for that, or kind of guiding, not in like a manipulative way, but like in a like mentor kind of way to whatever it is that you eventually do for your career, Odin, which is very cool. Let's just see any other messages from Papa to Odin, anything Odin needs to know. We get magic from the Loveland Frogman. Aw, I'm getting a really big message with all of this combined here is Papa wants you to know that he couldn't appreciate how awesome and amazing you were, and how magical you were, and how funny you were, and how cool you were, and how weird you were. All of these are like good things. All of these are good things. He couldn't appreciate it fully because he was so sad, and he had this, darkness within him that made it really difficult to show up in the way that you deserved. But what I am seeing for you, Odin, is now that he has crossed over, he's not having to deal with so much of that darkness. He's actually getting help with that darkness to where now he can see your magic. He can appreciate how funny and amazing and smart and cute and just loving you are in ways that he just could not see before, or he couldn't like express. Like he could see it, he could feel it, but he couldn't say it to you or show it to you in a way that you deserved. But let you know he sees that. He can definitely see that within you now more than ever. And he's very proud of you. He's watching down over you and just loving you. So that love never went away. Just because he passed on does not mean that love went away. In fact, it can be brighter now. Yeah, because he has such greater wisdom. You see, it's like the match. It's like a match that was unlit. While he was alive, it's like the fire wasn't there because the match wasn't lit. So he couldn't really see in the darkness, with all that darkness within him. He couldn't see how amazing you are. But what I see now is him being able to light that match up with the help of other spiritual helpers that are around him, so that he can see what it was that he had with him the whole time, which was you and your sister and your mom. And, things aren't always perfect, but like that would be boring anyway. But what he wants you to know is that he sees what you do. He's proud of you. He appreciates you. He wants you to keep learning things and growing and being a respectable brother and son to your mom and your sister, and, just a good person, because that's what he wanted to be, but couldn't quite reach that when he was here. But he knows you have it in you to be able to do that for yourself, for your family, for, if you ever have kids someday, and your wife, if you have that, whatever your life looks like, he wants you to know that he will honor and appreciate and respect that. Yeah. And he sees a lot of talent in you, artistic talent, wisdom, a sense of humor, just the way you dress. I mean, you dress so cool, man. You just have your own sense of style, and he wants you to know that that is so fun and that he appreciates that too. Aw, what a cute message. Aw. So cute. Oh, he's here. Okay, good. Well, he doesn't have to wait too long for the message. Let's just get one more. Anything else? Because he wants you to be proud of him too. Not that you have to. Because the version that he was able to give you, Odin, wasn't what you deserved. But he wants and hopes that someday when you guys are united again, that you can see how much he's grown and how much he does love you and has evolved after crossing over, that he hopes he can earn that appreciation and pride and proud and respect from you as well. He really does hope that someday, but that's not on you to have to give that to him. He needs to earn that. Yeah, but look, he's making those positive changes. He's transforming that pain into strength to empower himself to evolve. I mean, this is what we just said, pretty much. There it is in the card. And he's growing as you're growing. So as you grow up, just know your dad is also growing up in many ways that you're definitely going to be proud of when you do see him again someday. Aww. We're all in tears. That was so cute. Yeah. I mean, he's still, like, what's coming through is he still has a long way to go. But he's like, I got a lifetime to do it. It's fine. And it's 12:12 on my clock. Probably 11:12 where Jessa is at. So he definitely admits he made a lot of mistakes. And he's not proud of those mistakes, but he's definitely proud of you, Odin, and Genevieve, and Jessa. Absolutely you as well. So don't leave yourself out of this equation. He is proud. It's coming through very clearly here. He is proud, and he wishes he could have been that better person that you all deserve, but he just couldn't be. Aw, big hugs, my sweet family. I love you guys. Aw. So we're going to timestamp for Kirsten now. Every time I wear a lipstick, I always get it like in the corners, and it just annoys me. Is there any way to fix that, Jessa? I think it's just because of like I have that like naturally downturned like resting bitch face pretty much with my mouth, and I think that's just naturally gonna happen. But Jessa, she's like makeup guru queen. All right. Aw, you guys are so supportive in the comments. I love it. Okay, so Kirsten, we're at 112.07. And then Kirsten donated for another one as well, but this is the full read. And then we'll just go into your next question right after this. So they'll be in tandem. Let me just double check though real quick that we didn't have any other donations come in, because I would have had no way to know because my phone was in the other room anyway, and I'm not even logged in on my email. So let me do that real quick. So stand by, Kirsten. Well, while that's signing in, I guess I can check over on my phone email just to make sure. No, we're caught up. I think. Yes, we're caught up. Okay. So no worries on that. Kirsten. So what is the fastest way for Kirsten to become financially independent and move out and even move abroad? I want to move out of my parents' house and probably move out of America. I might need a timestamp for this if I'm mistaken. Yes, we've timestamped for you. So let's just see. The fastest way. I'm already hearing, Kirsten, the fastest way is not going to be your best path as far as like spiritually aligned. But because you're asking about the fastest way, we will tune into that. But just know it may not be the way that's most aligned with your spirit. Just keep that in mind. But the fastest way, it really is going to be kind of a weird message in this way because it's not really your best path to go. So I almost want to see what is the fastest way. And then maybe we will also kind of tune into like what's actually your better way. Okay. Yeah. This is the lying, cheating, stealing card. So there's going to be a lot of you lying, cheating, and stealing from your own spirit to get there the fastest. It's like, I know you asked the fastest way, but it's like, that's not the answer that's going to give you any sense of happiness because it's going to lead to a crash and burn. And I think you did watch part of, or at least some of the collective message we did, that sometimes the fastest way, being in that masculine energy, it may serve for the moment, but it's not going to serve long term. And that's what I'm getting here very, very clearly. Your fastest way is going to lead to lying, cheating, and stealing from yourself. Not from others, but from yourself to try to accomplish this goal, this dream. But let's tune in to what actually would be more in alignment with your spirit, but is going to be the fastest way in alignment with your spirit for you to become financially independent and move out and even abroad. In alignment with your spirit, what is the fastest way Kirsten can do this? Oh, keep going. Okay, we had some flip. Okay. It's interesting because with this combination, I heard cut the fat. Not in a like body way. No, not like that. But like this expression, cut the fat. Let go of anything that is not like needed and dire and a priority. Let go of the things that are not bringing you happiness and joy as well, because both of these cards are like hit rock bottom, feeling really overburdened. So this is about not taking on debt, or if you do have debt, paying that off before you even, because part of being financially independent is not being full of, having a lot of debt, right? I mean, some debt can be healthy for sure. If you're playing the matrix game and, using it to your advantage rather than you getting taken advantage of. Oh, now my right ear's ringing. So if you have any kind of outstanding debt, it would be in your best interest to pay those down and then to really watch what you're spending. Is buying this new thing gonna lead to my financial independence and me moving out and even abroad, or is it going to take away from it? And I would say a lot of what you're spending on that's, something you already have, but you just want a newer version of it, or, well, I'm going to eat, I could eat here, or here. Well, I'm going to take, this option. It's about making very curated choices about your life, cutting the fat as far as extraneous spending, things that are just not a priority, but not so much that you're not living a joyful life, because sometimes you do have to spend money to live a joyful life. Let's just put that out there. But there may be certain debts that need to be paid down, or money you're spending month to month that you maybe can start, instead of spending it, you're saving it. And I'm also hearing pay yourself first. And that is making sure that after all your bills are paid and debts are, whatever debt payment you have that month is paid, that you're then also putting some of your finances in savings for yourself with no intention to spend them, because they're just yours. They're ready in case, like, you need it for something really, like dire straits, or you're saving up for your future, whatever your future is going to bring, you're saving up for that. All right. We also had the world come out. So you had 2 8s. No, you had 2 10s. Then you had the world card. Then you had 2 8s. Then you had the moon card. So it was like 2 10s, major arcana, 2 8s, major arcana. So the 10, and 88 may be relevant to your path forward here. The world, this is again about, yes, you will make this move eventually. It will happen. But this is going to also be coming as a result of you putting an end to certain spending habits, certain money mindset. I'm hearing money mindset. There's a shift coming to your money mindset. There may be even another income stream you're bringing in eventually that's going to help pay things down, but you almost treat that income stream like it's not paying any of your bills. It's just being saved. So your main income stream could be like bills, a little bit of savings. And then the other one could be just pure savings, or pure, like, this is me saving for my future, moving abroad, because that's probably not cheap, especially these days. Nothing's cheap these days, but yeah. Now we have the 8 of Wands, 8 of Swords. What this is giving is 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. Mars-Saturn conjunction in the 12th house, in other words, which is what I have. It's like your head wants one thing, your heart wants another, and they're kind of in battle. They're kind of doing this dance, but not a synchronized dance. It's very kind of sizing each other up, kind of like a predator and a prey. One feels they're the predator, this one's the prey, but this one feels it's the predator and that this one's the prey, and they're kind of just doing this dance. It's kind of what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. So it's about getting major clarity on any outstanding debts or what have you, consolidating those or getting those paid down as soon as you can, before trying to also save to move abroad or save to move out of, your parents' house. Because if you were to take and move out and then have all those debts hanging over your head. Again, there's this sense of, I can't take a break. I have to keep moving forward because I have all these debts. I just moved. If I even take one day off, everything's going to fall apart. You want to give yourself a nice cushion, especially financially, this nice savings, this nice cushion to where, if things did go south with a job or south with a relationship or south in any way, that you had enough of a cushion that you were going to be all right. That would be your best path forward. Again, it's not going to be the fastest path out of your parents' house and moving abroad, but in alignment with your spiritual path, by you doing this stuff that we've uncovered today, it's going to put you in alignment with your spiritual path, for one, and for two, in the fastest possible way by following this guidance that's come through from spirit for you. And then we have the moon. So not everything is clear-cut, completely set in stone. There may be some unknowns that you're just unsure of now. I mean, one of these, like a good unknown, could be like a man in his, healed masculine energy that wants to be that provider for you. Those men are out there that will make this happen for you, to where you don't have to be the one grinding and chipping away at, all of these things to make it happen. It's just him naturally coming into your life is making it happen. That's just a positive example of an unknown. A more negative example could be like, oh, I have this health issue and it's cost me all this money. Or I had this health issue and now I couldn't work and now I can't save money, and, domino effect. I'm seeing this as more of a positive unknown though than a negative. So let's just put that out there, that there's a positive kind of trump card that needs to be played here that you're just unaware of currently. And you don't even need to be aware of it, because life has its surprises, and sometimes that's good. That's a good thing. We don't always have to know the future or every little step to take to get us this exact outcome we're looking for, because sometimes the journey and the unsuredness of the journey is what we fondly look back on when we finally, made it to that destination. So your best path forward in the fastest spiritual way to get yourself moved out of your parents' house and then even abroad eventually would be to pay down debts, cut any extraneous spending that's not bringing you joy, that's actually making you more stressed and worried, but also not depriving yourself fully. There's going to be times where you do deserve to spend on yourself. It's fine. It's okay. But just using your intuition to know the nuance between what needs to be spent and what doesn't, and also in tandem saving like as much as you can, but also paying down as much as you can. And really, especially because you do have that nice fallback and cushion of your parents' home at this time, being able to pay off all those debts would be before even saving a dime, because that money is not gaining you as much just sitting there in savings as it would by just paying that debt down first. And I know that's actually kind of flying in the face of someone like maybe Dave Ramsey or something. I mean, I don't really follow him or anything, but I know he's always like, you need savings, you need savings, you need savings. Well, if you're stressed out about certain debts or maybe ways of spending, paying those debts off first and then start to save, especially because of the position you're currently in. Poop totally hit the fan, like you didn't have any kind of income at all, like you'd still be having a roof over your head, food on the table, that kind of thing. But at the very least, any outstanding debts you have, trying to pay those off and down as much as you can before moving on and taking that leap is going to be in your best interest, because then they're not hanging over your head. Yeah. All right, Kirsten, I hope that helped. I know it didn't answer the exact question you asked, but the exact question you asked, the fastest way to become financially independent and move out would lead to you lying, cheating, and stealing from yourself. Remember that Seven of Swords that came out first? Because the fastest way in your case is not the best, most spirit-led way for you to be able to do what you want and have the life you want. And there's unknowns. We had that moon card. There are some, and again, leaning more into the positive unknowns that are just unknown to you right now. They're obscured in some way, like an eclipsed moon. You can't see it. But eventually you will see it. It'll come into your life, and then you'll be like, oh, this is what that is. Again, it's a good thing. Ugh, we had a card fall. Let me see what it was. King of, maybe it's a relationship. A balanced man in his masculine energy that wants to provide and, be there for you. so that you don't have to do all this on your own. I'm not saying you should wait for that. In fact, plan for the opposite. Just plan like, okay, I'm going to pay off my debts and I'm going to live my life and step into my greatest version and then save money. And like you're doing all of this for yourself. But as you take care of yourself, somehow, some way, the universe is going to line you up with a man or, a relationship that will also want to help take care of you in tandem, or to relieve some of the burden that you feel like you have to carry here. Because you're not, you, Kirsten, maybe others are, but you, Kirsten, are not meant to go this alone. You're not meant to be this single woman just grinding and hustling your life like that. You're meant, this is what's coming through from spirit. This is not me just saying, oh, you deserve, you need. No, this is coming through from spirit, is you're meant to eventually, in the times that you're single and stuff, like live your best life, like live your best single life. But eventually you will bring in somebody who wants to provide, wants to take care of you. And then the money you're making and the job you're working, like it's very fully aligned to your purpose, because you're not having that added weight of having to be a provider for yourself and any, family or children you have, because that role will be taken by someone else in your life that's more than happy and willing and ready and able to do that for you, so that you can live in your feminine energy and do the thing that lights you up, whatever that is. Wow, pretty powerful. Even though we didn't quite answer your question the way you were maybe hoping we did, but I hope that still worked for you. So there you go, Kirsten. There it is. I went a little long with that one, but I feel like we needed to tune in a little bit. So, okay, we're timestamp. Oh, well, we did timestamp the first one, and we're just going right into your second one after I take a quick commercial break with my water. You just had to watch me blink a few times. You didn't even need to watch a commercial, hopefully. So what lessons am I meant to be learning at this time in my life? Okay, let's tune in for you, Kirsten. I just heard this is a continuation of your most recent question. So one of the lessons you're meant to be learning in this life is maybe that you don't have to go it alone. But let's just see what's coming through. What lessons is Kirsten meant to be learning at this time in her life? Being in your divine feminine receiving energy. And hello, we just ended that last reading with the King of Cups. Now we're getting the Queen of Cups. Talk about a continuation here. Wow. I could not have made that up any better myself. Spirit is coming through. Spirit is not playing. I mean, they are playing, but like in a very calculated and amazing way here. I love this. So yeah, you're meant to be able to step back into that feminine energy and take care of yourself. That's one of the lessons here. But let's see anything else that needs to come through. And leaning into your intuition, your more spiritual side. That's all things associated with the Queen of Cups. Anything else for Kirsten? Lessons she's learning right now, or meant to be learning at this time? Yeah. This so much. This came out in your other reading. I mean, this really is a continuation of your other reading. I love this. I love this so much. But this is about closing out those old cycles, toxic cycles, clearing old trauma, maybe doing a bit of shadow work. Maybe you are doing some traveling as well. Finances, wherever they may fall. Especially leading up to summer, I see, even if you're going on a family trip or a girls trip or with other people in some way, there's still a healing or a cleansing you're doing as a result of this travel. And also scheduling time into your life that feels more like a vacation, even if you're just staying home or just like in your bath or in your bedroom or wherever, but you're scheduling time into your life or allowing yourself to pull back and give to yourself from your own feminine energy, or allow yourself to receive from the universe in your feminine energy. So you can look up things on YouTube about stepping into your feminine energy, but just be careful, because a lot of the content out there about feminine energy is actually more of a performative feminine energy thing than actual divine feminine energy. So just, especially if the channel or the videos you're looking to have more of a spiritual feminine basis, that's going to be a better bet to follow that kind of guidance rather than just following someone who's like, you need to demand cars and gifts and bags from your man, like whatever. That's more of the toxic femininity that they're trying to put out. Yeah. Okay. So we have we have a couple cards, but I first saw the Seven of Wands. So this is about lesson you're meant to be learning is not to have to be in defense mode or feel bad for having a boundary or standing up for yourself in some way. So you're learning again from your feminine energy to step into setting boundaries that don't it's like boundaries that you don't even need to call it a boundary. It's just people respect you enough and honor you enough that they're not trying to encroach on your boundaries. And you're not feeling bad for having, that space around you when you need it in the first place. So that's another lesson is just to maybe you're healing some childhood wounds as well. Um, from recovering from narcissistic abusive marriage that takes a toll on a person even years later. There's still side effects from that. So doing any healing, cleansing, clearing that you can regarding, your past connection and any other past connections, unrequited love, just clearing the deck in your love life or, what energy was imprinted in your love life throughout the ages, different ages you were, could greatly benefit you at this time. And it really is acting as a lesson. Also, Three of Cups, finding your tribe, finding a close friend or two or three that you feel so good with. You don't feel like, you're overgiving or they're overgiving to you. Like it's a very balanced relationship that you're cultivating with one, two, maybe even up to three other ladies in your life. So that's another lesson is to, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kirsten, I think you were having trouble or trying to figure out how to make friends. I feel like that is part of your lesson at this time is to learn to open your heart, to allow the right people. It's not just about letting any old lady into your life. Old ladies are cool though. Like, no, I don't mean it like old lady, but any old person into your life. This is about, like attracting like, bringing the right type of person into your life that has a more feminine and spiritual tilt to her own energy field as well, because that's what's going to best serve you. Because nobody fills you up like one of your best friends who's in her divine feminine energy and you're in your divine feminine energy. Like you can just keep giving and giving and giving to each other, and it feels like you're getting in return. Like it's just it's probably the most reciprocal energy exchange of any connection out there is those like grown female, everybody's embodying their own divine feminine energy relationships. Like it's very unconditional and it's very loving and it's very pure. Unlike a lot of other relationships, which are very conditional or, well, this person with your mother and child, like the person needs me, this child needs me. And of course I love them, but like they need me. Your girlfriends, I mean, they don't technically need you, but they want you in their life. So it's a really pure and amazing when you can get a feminine who's in her divine feminine, not a wounded feminine where she's catty and projecting all her crap on you. Like that's a whole other thing. I'm not talking about those girlfriend connections in your life, but just a very deeply attuned divine feminine connection between you and another lady. Amazing. Amazing. Solar Siren is one of mine, and I can't tell you like how just I love it. I love her and I love it. And we were talking about this yesterday. It was like it's just such it's beyond, it's like a very intimate connection without the sexuality. That's the best way I could put it. And that's what we were talking about yesterday. It's just beautiful. I love it. All right. So, yeah. Oh, there's a lip primer that keeps it all month. Well, I'm going to need to figure out what that is. Oh, Marlene donated for a 1 card. And John's here. Hi, John. Welcome. If you're open to connecting, I'm open to interacting with you. I can get details. Yeah, for sure. Kirsten, you can email me at amanda@dunphotodesign.com. I'll write it on the chat. That's not an at, that's a pound sign. Or hashtag, as kids say. Dunphotodesign.com. And then I can pass Amber's details along to you if you feel so inclined to reach out. But let's go to Marlene. Marlene's question. I got to go to my email real quick. Oh, we have a couple. What am I saying? I didn't even see them on here. But no, we have we have quite a few. We have Amanda F, we have Marlene, we have Brianna, and Amber. So we have quite the list here that I didn't even know was here. Just top chat away. Okay, but it looks like these have come in about the last half hour or so. So okay, I'll take them in the order that I received them. So for Amanda F, just let me know if you're here. I think she's here. Oh yeah, she did say she sent one. Okay, so let's get into it for Amanda F. She has her question here. How can I best support my son to start flowing naturally in the direction of his true life passion versus stalling and deflecting? Oh, okay. I love this question. And since we're all in this divine feminine, divine masculine energy talk today, one thing I know about a man or a boy, I mean, I'm raising two boys who are becoming men very quickly before my eyes, it feels like, especially my oldest one. He's going to be 14 next month. How? How? But one thing I do know, and I know very well about young men, old men, all men, they need a sense of purpose or they're not interested. If there's no sense of purpose or desire to move in a direction, they just won't. They won't. Not for me. Nope. Some will out of a sense of obligation, sure, but they already have to be pretty motivated just in life in general. And if that's not your son's case, we're going to get to cards, but support for Amanda's son to start flowing naturally in the direction of his true life's passion versus stalling and deflecting. So that lets you know, most likely, yeah, he hasn't stepped into his own motivation yet, his own sense of purpose, sense of passion. Maybe he hasn't failed at enough things to know, well, I definitely don't want to do that. Or finally succeeded in something that he's like, you know what? I actually really like this. So it's really about trial and error. But how you can best support your son is you can point out his strengths. You can, not in this like, let me hype you up kind of way, but, when you see he just like steps up and leads, takes control, takes charge in a scenario, point that out as like, oh my gosh, good job. Let him know when he's in that feminine, that masculine energy. Let him know when, hey, wow, you really stepped up back there. That's amazing. Because coming from a mom, that means a lot. So the best way you can support him is to point out when he's doing things right. And I won't say ignore when he's doing things wrong, but definitely don't make that the highlight because that can shut him down. But let's just see. Anything else Amanda can do to support her son to start flowing naturally in the direction of his true life's purpose? Yeah. Even asking him, fact-finding questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or if you could go anywhere? Or, hey, if money was no object, what would you do with your time? Just asking him just like these questions that are going to lead him to start thinking. And even if he doesn't come up with an idea right in the moment, something about that question that you gave him will stick with him and he may start ruminating on it, especially with this card. It kind of gets him in the planning stages or kind of like, I wonder if money was no object, what would I do with my time? I wonder. Because that's your true authentic path right there. Because if you didn't need money to survive or to prove things to anyone else, what would any one of us be doing with our time? That should show your authentic path. It's not always the path we can follow if we have to pay bills and put food on the table and all that fun stuff, but it at least gets him closer, to figuring that out. Yeah, it's like he hasn't figured it out yet, but when he does, you're going to know it. But you just balancing him out and even if he does come to you for any kind of advice, this is about you not trying to suggest things to him, but just to listen. And sometimes, this is something I've learned in, being together with my husband for 21 years now, is sometimes it's not even that he needs me to respond to what he's saying. He just needs someone to hear it. And in fact, if I just keep quiet, he keeps thinking and talking and thinking out loud, and he solves his own problem. And I do get a very similar, vibe with your son, that if he just had someone to maybe bounce that idea off. It's not like you even need to like, "Oh, let me think about that. Maybe you should do," and try to offer up all this advice. I mean, if a good idea comes to you, of course, you can share that with him. But what I'm seeing is just you being that ear, listening when he's, "I think maybe I could do this, but I don't know the logistics of this. Then I have to move over here and I have to do this thing." Sometimes him just thinking out loud with you in the room, like, is all he's gonna need, and that's what I'm getting is that's all he's gonna need. He's stuck on the money mind and sits without movement because he thinks he needs to answer that question first versus focusing on his purpose through his passion and gifts. See, and even if you point that out exactly and just say it exactly as you just said it in the comment here or the chat, it's maybe not even gonna sink in for him. But what I see is you just, again, asking those fact-finding questions that can really get him thinking and him start to talk to you about these things. And again, not so much him seeking your advice, but because he knows when he goes to you, you're just kind of this container for which to put his thoughts in and kind of bounce around each other, and then it kind of goes back toward him as solutions. All right, anything else that Amanda can do to support? Because I think you're already on the right track to support him. It's just he there's going to be a switch flipping in his own energy. Yeah, he will take the reins here. He will. He'll figure it out. And of course, as moms, I mean, I got 2 boys myself that I'm like, I want to just do it all for them and take the pain away and make it easy. But like, that's not how men learn, really. Men need to get out there and be challenged. They need to experience the things they don't want and the things they do want, for sure. But a lot of times it's like that trial and error. He just does need to put himself out there. And the more he does, the more he's going to learn, yeah, don't like that, don't like that. Ooh, I do like this. I mean, I kind of like this one, but like kind of not. It's the trial and error of it all is what's really standing out here. That you supporting him, just being that support for him as far as being available when he wants to talk about it, or even just asking him at random, or when you feel very purposeful about going in and trying to help him, just asking him those questions that get him thinking. Because sometimes if we're not asking the right question, we can't get the answer. But if you're asking the right question without answering it for him, just allowing him to kind of have the space to process what that is. But I see him figuring it out. So it's not like you have to sit down and find out the best possible job for him and then put the application in his hand. No, because for him to figuring it out, like kind of following the breadcrumbs of his own purpose, and even if he is stuck on the money mind, eventually he'll learn that that's not the way to do it. Because you can make a lot of money doing something you hate, or you can make even more money doing something you love. And it's kind of a hard lesson that we do all as people just need to learn. I mean, you can literally tell him that and maybe he'll hear it, but he won't really listen to that advice until he goes through it himself. Yeah, that's what's coming through, but he's going to eventually figure it out. He will. But I feel like you're already doing all the right things, but just maybe asking him those fact-finding questions and just being that good support for him. If he does come to you and say, Mom, I need help on my job search. Can you help me think of things? If he's outright asking you for that help, then you can give it to him and do whatever you want to do or feel you want to do to help that. But most likely he won't come to you with that direct, Mom, find me a job. Like, because part of his masculine energy is him solving his own problem. That's part of the masculine energy, and them feeling very empowered in their masculine energy is them solving their own problem and solving the problem for others. And that does put them in their sense of purpose, because as a masculine, they want to provide, they want to be of service, of purpose to someone, and even to themselves, but also to others. So you just kind of facilitating that in him, he's going to figure it out. It may not be tomorrow, may not be next week or even this year, but he will figure it out. And that is part of his path as a man, is to, figure it out. And if he does want to go the money mind way, he'll learn maybe the hard way that, okay, I can make someone else a hell of a lot of money and maybe make quite a bit on my own and be really burned out and hate my life and hate my job. Or I can do that same thing, either, making money for someone else, but I love what I'm doing, so it's ain't no thing. and I'm also making a lot of money, or maybe he's going to go off his own way and start his own thing and make himself a lot of money, but that is part of the drive for him, is going to be figuring it out on his own. Yes, he can definitely have that support and that container that you provide, that safe space for him. But him figuring out on his own ultimately is part of his path as a guy, But you're doing great, Amanda. So yeah, just keep being that supportive mom, and he's going to figure it out. He will. Yeah, you're so welcome. Absolutely. All right, let's get into our next question for Marlene. Take another drink of water. So Marlene can post her question, and then we have a full read. And so that's a 1-card read. And then Brianna and then Amber both have for a full read. So Marlene, 1 card. Hola, Marlene. Anything coming through from my Uncle Juan? It would be nice to hear from him again. I love it. Let's tune in. Tuning into the lovely energy of Uncle Juan. Yeah, he's funny. He's very... His energy is a fun one to be in. So let's see. Let's see if he's got any messages for the family, for Marlene. Okay, wow. So it feels to me like these are your 3 daughters, and even his own sisters, like the feminine energy in the family, his sisters, any other feminines in the family, but he does have a great love and respect for the females in the family, and he does see what a good job. It's very interesting. Today must be I'm proud of you day from Spirit, because much like David's message to his son Odin, I'm getting a very beautiful message for you, for all the feminines, your daughters, any sisters and aunts and everybody in the family. Your Uncle Juan is just very proud of all of you, and just what beautiful, amazing women and girls and women are growing up into in this family. Like it's very like he just comes through with this sense of awe, like, wow, what amazing ladies that I have in my family. And there is this sense of celebrating all the wins that you guys have along the way. Not to say he doesn't celebrate the guys in the family either. He does, but there's just something very awe-inspiring for him about the females in the family that are just like, wow, they're doing it. They're doing the thing. And of course, he wishes he could be there to say that out loud to each and every one of you, and just be that like fun uncle and great uncle and brother and son that he was in this life. But he is learning some very valuable things right now, and he has overcome so much. Like, he's like, if you could see me now, you wouldn't even like recognize me, but like in a good way. Like, he's really overcome a lot of issues and just wounds that he had in life, that he's showing me most of the wounds that he actually had in this life were carried in from a past life. So it wasn't even like he's sitting here like, I had the worst life with my family. No. He had a great life with his family. We all have trauma, even in the best of families, for sure. But it's like something he carried from past life was the heaviness he carried in this life. And he's letting you guys know that he's no longer carrying that heavy burden. He's let it go. He's figured something out here. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And to him, it's still unbelievable. He's just like, it just almost takes his breath away, that it's like, wow, I was there and now I wasn't. But he is getting that perspective that he just didn't have in life, that, wow, I could have been so much more. I just sold myself short. And in ways, he even sold a lot of his family members short. But now with this higher perspective, he can see, wow, especially the feminines, like, what an amazing mom I had. What amazing sisters I had. What amazing nieces and great nieces, and just all, especially the females. Not to say that he doesn't have any love or care for the men. He absolutely does. And the boys, absolutely. But there's just something that just hits different, especially with his connection to the females, that he wishes he could still be here for. I mean, he still can see you guys, but just to have that one-on-one interaction in person, there's something just magical about that he no longer has access to, that you guys no longer have like full access to either. That is the pain for him. It's like, if I could have done better, I showed up better, we could have it all. We could have had it all, but I didn't figure it out in time. And then Wah, wah. Better luck next time is what he's saying. It's like, better luck next time. So he does have full plans to come into another life where you guys are family in some capacity, and he's planning to step up much better in that life. He's already like, I'm planning things out. Like he's a man on a mission here. Because he's like, I'm not gonna let you down. That's what he's coming through to say. And especially for his mom, he's like, I didn't mean to let you down. So I don't know if there's a special message for your grandma with that, but he didn't mean to let her down. Yeah. We could all see that in him. Aw. Yeah, you're extremely happy for him. I have such chills right now. He is like, even since I last tuned into his energy, there's been a big shift for him on the other side where he's realized things, he's let things go, he's healed. He's healed in so many ways that, especially when you first started asking for him to come forward, he did come forward, but it's almost like part of his head was hanging in shame. And then he would try to overcompensate with that like funny energy. He's still got that fun and funny energy, but it's not as a coping or overcompensating mechanism. It's now just genuine and pure because he feels good from his heart to be that way. Not to try to cover up his pain or other people's pain or ways that he could have done wrong in the past. He just wants to show up as a better version of himself in, just the connection you still have to him right now in this life with him on the other side, but also moving forward in other connections. His mom goes to the cemetery at least twice a week, and I know she still struggles. Yeah, let's get a special message for your grandma. Yeah, he sees her devotion and he sees her love, and he appreciates it, but he says he doesn't need all that. And it sometimes hurts him that she feels like she dropped the ball somehow with him. Even if she's never expressed that out loud to anyone, like, he sees that in her, that he wishes he could take that away. And that's his biggest regret is him leaving, and then that in turn making her feel like she dropped the ball with him. I'll have chills. And just all the stress and anxiety that causes her in this rest of this life. Because I see her most likely carrying this. This is what he's showing is, the devoted mother she was to him and still is to him. She's not going to just let it go. He wishes she would, though. He wishes she would. If there's anything that she feels like doing to celebrate, of course he would be totally down with that. But it's almost like there's this guilt she carries that she shouldn't have to. And he says, that's on me that she carries that, and it's not on her. Yeah, she does that and says that. It's hard to get her out of that mindset. Right. And I can attest to that, especially like with my own grandma. She was, again, the same person she was at age 52 when I was born as she was at age 90 when she passed away, when I was 38. Especially a big traumatic event like losing her son, especially the way she lost him. Most likely that will stick with her. I'm still on. Hi, Brandy Lynn. Yeah, but he wants you to know, and her especially to know, that, hey, no one dropped the ball. Like, this wasn't even my fault. It's just a whole bunch of crap that built up that just became too burdensome. And then he just, boom, was on the other side, like, just hit him like a ton of bricks. Like, wow. Yeah, it's hard for sure. Yeah, happy Valentine's. I don't even think I said that to anyone. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I did say it to my kids and husband today, but not you guys. But yeah. All right. Well, I hope that brought a little bit of comfort. Yeah, he kind of, he's funny. He's like, I didn't mean to make it all about me, but like he did, but not in that way, like, oh, it's all about me. But he wants to alleviate the burden that especially the females in the family carry. And again, to let you know how much he loves, respects, and reveres all of you, and how amazing and beautiful you all are in all your different ways. From moms to sisters to nieces, great nieces, all of them, all of you, he's saying, all of you. He's so fun. Fills my heart to hear about him. Yeah, he's a very special guy. And just to know that he's still very operational in your life, I hope does bring peace, because he's like, he's showing me, he's very funny, but it's not coming through today as this overcompensating, but he's showing me this like magnifying glass, like looking through it, like through the clouds. Like he's just being really super funny and extra about it today. He's like, I got my eye on you, but not in those weird compromise, like, are you watching me on the toilet, Uncle Juan? That would be weird. No, he's like, no, I'm respectful. But yeah, he's definitely very proud of all of you. And of course, wishes he could give all of you the biggest hug and heart-to-heart conversation. But, that will be saved for another time. All right. Big hugs to you, Marlene. All right, Brianna. Yeah. Okay. Note from Brianna. It says, healing has no ending. It is a lifestyle, especially in the world of chaos, agendas, and wealth imbalances. With all that being said, I feel like I have escaped the mindset of the Matrix, and I'm now learning about my true self. I'm recognizing my cycles. Yes, I love all of this, Brianna. This is amazing. My question, what does my inner child want me to focus on healing and releasing, and what skills and gifts will prevail as a result of this shadow work? Okay, so we've kind of got 2 questions in one, so we'll do like a 1-card pull for, well, it's never 1 card, but kind of 1 question centered around the first part of that question, and then another one with the other. So let's tune in. What does Brianna's inner child want her to focus on healing and releasing? And then after that, we'll tune into what skills and gifts will prevail as a result of that shadow work. Okay. All right. Inner child want Brianna to focus on healing and releasing. Okay. Wow. So I was shuffling correctly, but it came out in reverse. Okay. Okay, so it's interesting because when the 2 of Cups is upright, it's usually about a soulmate connection. Could be romantic, could be otherwise. When it's in reverse, I almost read it as the Ace of Cups. Like, bring it back to center. Because again, you're 1/2 of every relationship you're in. And that's something, especially as a child, Brianna, if you felt like you had to like be like the best at a sport, or be, get the highest grade, or overachieve in some way, that you can put that down. Yes, you can still be the best. Like, that goes without saying. You can be the best at whatever you set your mind to, but that's not like your end result is to be the best X, Y, or Z. This is about you coming back to your heart, coming back into your divine, feminine, loving inner child energy, and knowing that you already are the best at whatever. And you don't have anything to prove to anyone. You don't even have anything to prove to yourself. And I know that kind of flies in the face of all this self-development stuff of, you don't have to be better than that competition. You just got to be better than that version of yourself 2 days ago, whatever. This is like going even beyond all of that and saying, no, you already are your greatest version. You just need to tune into it. You need to just forget about all of this that's not even you anyway, and just tune into your greatest version, because it already is you. You already are it. It exists. You are it. You are God. I hear you are God. So there's no, it's funny because it's like, I'm answering your question with the fact that there really is no work that you have to do to heal or release or let go of. It's just to remember who you are. And was that on, trying to think, it's the Grandmother Willow on Pocahontas. It's like, listen with your heart, you will understand. But it was something very much of just remembering that all of this programming and matrix talk and stuff that we talk about here a lot, and that you feel like I've overcome that stuff. This really is about you just knowing that is not you anyway. Your bad habits aren't you. The way you get like angry at someone because they said something, that's not even you. You as the observer, and the body that you're in may be feeling certain things or thinking certain things, but those feelings and thoughts are not you. So really what your focus should be, or could be, instead of like, what can I heal or release? Instead, just realize all of that is an illusion anyway, and you already are perfection. You already are your greatest version. You already are God. Not the only one out there, but one of many, that when we all return, we are one source, right? And remembering that over and over and over and over and over again. It's a full-time job to remember your God, that you don't need fixing, you're not broken. Even in all this talk with Raylene at Roots Restored Wellness about all these soul fractals and breaks, like, no, because In your authenticity, nothing could ever be taken away from you because you are God and everything else is God, and anything that is not God is not even real. Doesn't exist. I'm raising my voice. Um, so yeah, it's just about remembering who you are, and the only healing or releasing that you would have to do is just remember who you are and let go of any illusion. I mean, these illusions out here be persistent in the 3D. Let me just be honest there. Because when we tell ourselves we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we start to literally create and manifest a reality in a 3D reality that will reflect exactly that. People coming at you telling you the exact same thing. Oh, you're nothing. You're nothing. You don't deserve that. Who are you to rise above? And especially when other people get triggered by your supposed level ups, they will tear you down as much as they can. Remember who you are. I heard on Moana. Yeah, a lot of those Disney movies have like deep spiritual themes. So you gotta know they got some spiritual people that snuck in there on the payroll, and they're dropping some truth bombs in there for sure, for sure. But your true spirit, I mean, we as God, all of us, are already fractals of all one source. So even if for some reason you have a spirit fracture, or there's parts of you that are missing or seemingly missing, they will be returned because they could never be separate from you. Think of quantum physics. You take a piece of DNA from my body or your body or whoever's body, and you drive it across all the way across the country, 3,000 miles or however many miles, and you do something to the body, that DNA will respond as if it's still part of the body. You do something to that DNA, the body will respond as if it's still connected to the body. There's no disconnection. So even if we do have these spirit fractures or, whatever, in reality, we could never be separated from our own self, which is our true spirit, which is God. So go up the totem pole. The only thing that we could believe would be a lie, that we are ever separate from who we truly are. But we're so programmed, and we're so, we all feel, especially, when you're in a relationship with someone, they trigger you. That person you're in a relationship with is you. Your child is you. That dog is you. The tree outside is you. It's all you interacting with you in every single lifetime. And anything that is not spirit isn't even real. It's an illusion. It's Maya, the Matrix, all about Maya, the illusion. So if it's not real, so if it's not God, it's not real. So the only thing real is God. The only thing real is you, because you are God. And on and on and on. Okay, so the only healing you need to do is to remember who you are. Again, it's a full-time job, and you got to be persistent, because the Matrix be lying out here to all of us that we're not worthy, that we need to submit to some government's authority, and whatever. All of that is an illusion. I know it feels very real, but it's not real. If it's not God, it's not real. But let's tune in to the second part of your question. What gifts will prevail as a result of your shadow work, or as a result of you just remembering who the F you are? What gifts will prevail? I heard which one wouldn't prevail. That's what I just heard. Really, you guys, Brianna's question is for everybody. She didn't even realize she bought and paid for a question for everybody today, but she did, because the advice that's coming through for her is the exact advice for you and you and you and you and you and you and me and everybody that is God. It's all the same advice here coming through. So what gifts won't prevail? When we can let down the illusions of lack and feeling unworthy and feeling less than or undeserving, when we can start to ignore that, even if it's still showing up in our 3D reality with people calling us names, or us being denied for that job we know we're more than qualified for, or whatever, insert here. Eventually, as you get on board on the internal with, no, I am God. I'm not the only God. So I'm still also going to treat that person across the street that I really don't like that person, but I'm going to also treat them like they are God. I'm going to treat that, stray dog down the road like they are God. I'm going to treat the tree in my yard like it is God. I'm going to treat that guy I just passed, on the street that waved at me, and I'm going to wave back, and he's God. It's not all about just treating ourselves as God and becoming these megalomaniacs and starting cults and all these things. No, it's about as within, so without. You treat yourself as God, you start treating others as God. I mean, let's put this up here. As you start to treat yourself as God, and maybe even others in your life as God, the people who are not real or not of God in the way that you're out here looking for it will start to fall out of your life because they cannot handle that frequency shift. So they'll put up resistance at first, but then eventually they will have to exit your life in one way, shape, or form, because they cannot be in the presence of God if they are not God. If they are God, maybe they have, illusions of their own, thinking they're not God and all this, but they will come to those real. You are a shining, beautiful example to remind them of who they are. So it really only works in your favor to remember your God and treat even quote unquote matrix people or whatever that may or may not be real spirit. Treat everyone as if they are God, and the ones that are not God will just kind of phase out of your life eventually, because you know you're God. You life hack, you discovered the secret to the universe. You are God. And so is everything else and everyone else. And if it is not God, it is not real. Again, very persistent illusion out here, feeling very real. We all feel the financial crunch of this economy, I'm sure. But it's not real. It's such a brain effort when you step into this. But what gifts won't prevail, Brianna? But let's just tune in, just specifically to Brianna. What gifts will come to the forefront as a result of her constantly and continuously reminding herself she is God? You will get downloads instantly. Your creativity will be off the chain. Anything you think needs healed or whatever, it's already done, healed. Communication is on fleek. Any kind of social media that you want to start or business endeavor, you will have the marketing tools and capabilities to find the clients you're looking for. Any direction you want to move in life, here's your golden ticket. Take it and go. Here are the keys to the car. Start the engine. Hear it purr. Start the drive. Walk away from anything that is messing with your God self. And any confusion you have, again, gone, because clarity. And I think that also could apply to anyone else here too, but especially to you, Brianna. This is your reading. So, wow. Because you're walking away from confusion. You're any, sense of healing, you're letting go of the illusion that any part of you was broken to begin with. Because God cannot be broken. And that's the thing is, especially when we're on this spiritual journey, we think, well, I got to heal myself to become this greatest version. What if you already are your greatest version and you just need to remove what was it on the movie Friends or show Friends? I'm seeing someone who put on all sorts of layers of clothing, like sweaters. Was that on Friends? Was that Joey on Friends? I can't remember. But what I'm seeing is your authentic, true spirit, spark of God, is the human body. And all of those layers that were put on were, you're not worthy. You're not good enough. You need to find a job that pays well, even if you're not passionate about it. You need to do this. Governments, school systems, medical industry, all one of the shirts that are put on, layer, 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 layer. So your real true job here is just to start peeling them off one. And that's why I like to call it peeling rather than healing. Because no true spark of God's spirit could ever be tainted or disjointed or, yes, we've all been fractalized, but that feels like initially was by choice. But if we want to continue the illusion of separation, we can. That's within our free will to do that. But once you start to come back into union with knowing that you are God and God is everything and everything that is not God is not real, it's an illusion, you start to align to your best path. And you start to align other people in your life to their best path. It's just like this magic that just, it really just starts within. And we're out here looking for this answer over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. But really, it all starts within here. And when we can remember that and consistently practice that, because remembering it is one thing. having that mind-blowing epiphany, that is life-changing for sure. But then you start to walk the walk and talk the talk of treating yourself and others as God, acting from that position and authority of your own life. Like, I am God, so I know what's best for me. And if, an old trauma or a wound comes up, you can face it head on and say, that did happen. In that reality, that did happen. But again, so much of what we consider reality is just an illusion or our reaction or response to outside stimuli. It feels very real though. That's the thing, is these illusions out here be feeling real. But I hope that helped, not just Brianna, but others as well. I think she loved it. Oh my God, this took me to the screen in Mahabharata, I think that's how you say that, where the fight was happening on the battlefield. The Spectre was asked what he saw, and he saw God fighting with itself in different forms. Exactly. And that's all we're out here doing. We're all walking each other home because we are all each other and ourselves and God. I mean, if you really sit and think about it, it's hilarious. It really is. Us out here thinking we're separate entities. We're all the same. And if we're not of God, we're literally don't exist. Like, wow. I'm going to have to rewatch this for myself. I felt so many good messages come through from Spirit, also for me and for all of us. So powerful. Thank you for that question, Brianna. Amazing. All right. And we have Amber and we have Florence. And I did see Florence posted a question up there, so we'll get into that. But let's get into Amber's question. I would love to get some clarity behind the decline in Kashvi's interest in practicing math, or in fact in studies. She is losing interest in the vocal India music she has been learning since she was 5. I feel there is a conflict inside her. She wants to go on video games, reels on YouTube and Instagram. I feel Destiny Swap may be part of it, but I feel there is something more. I did work on removing the dark energy sent to her and reverse things back to what they were before. I feel she is doing fine with her friends at school. I also understand that her dad is completely closed and she may be feeling pressure of not opening up about what she wants, scared about his as well as my reaction and angry outburst judgment. Yet, what is it that is going on? Is she hiding something from me, and how to help her? Okay. I'm already getting that there's a shift. There's a shift for sure that has happened within her. And part of it does feel hormonal. Not to say that, she's at that puberty stage yet, but leading up to that, there is a hormonal shift going on that I'm sensing. I'm tuning into this as something that she's just tuning into something different. And this sort of defiance that's coming up is just a result of her kind of expressing her own power or wanting to step into her own autonomy. It's like she's wanting to be able to make her own choices, but of course she's not old enough to do that like full time for sure. So what's coming through, Amber, already is for you to set up a safe container for her to say, okay, if she just has no interest in something, especially like the dance stuff, or math or whatever, if she's like genuinely lost interest, I would check in with her from time to time. I'd say maybe every 2 weeks or more if you feel so inclined. Just, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? If her interest is truly waning from it, it feels to me like the more you push her into it, even though her interest has pulled back, the more defiance you're going to get and the more pushback you're going to get. And she may outright just turn it off or deny, like, I don't want that at all anymore. Yeah, she wants to do math. Okay. Yeah. And that's what that feels like, is especially with the math, like it is an interest to her that she will carry through. It's just, it feels like there's so much other stuff going on, with her dad and all these things that are just, like, think of it this way, Amber, you're painting. You love painting and you want to paint. And maybe not right now because you've been painting. So this time isn't a good example, but other times where, things were just so heavy, with your husband and life and the energy's coming in that you're like, I just have no desire to paint. I'm seeing the same kind of vibe with her right now. She's going through a bit of that. I won't say full on dark night of the soul. It feels very miniature, but it's just, her like wholehearted, like, yes, I'm all in on this. has just pulled back because she, especially as that receptive energy as the female, with these energies coming in, she's also receiving and grounding this energy in, even though she's not at that stage yet. She's in that like maiden energy, right? She's still a receptive vessel through which this energy grounds into this reality. So she is feeling that. And of course, you're going to get a bit of pushback with the math because, again, she's got a lot going on energetically that maybe she doesn't even understand or put into words or express because she doesn't know. She doesn't know what's going on. I know I wish the flip would happen soon. She has major math competitions that she wanted to attend, but is not performing and hurting. Yeah, and that's the thing is this just needs to be, if she can either, you as her mom can decide, is she just going to sit these out somehow or take a step back? Or does she just go through with it, maybe fail a little bit, allow that failure to be a teacher of its own to allow her to decide, maybe I do want to step it up. Maybe I do want to perform better and put more effort into this. I know, I get it. As moms, we want to like just protect them and be that soft place to land and do it for them. Yeah, letting her fail because that's its own natural teacher. Like you don't even have to say a word. The failure itself is the lesson for her if that comes to it. Yeah. Sometimes even, as young as, 9, 8, 10, 11, these younger years, sometimes we just have to let them fail a little bit. She did go down from second position to sixth. It will hurt. It hurt her. Yeah. But these are natural consequences of her not putting in the same amount of effort as a lot of these other kids or the same amount of effort she used to. Yeah. It's going to make her step it up. Look at that. Her natural failure or just falling down the ranks will be enough of a teacher to her to get her to step it up. Because I do feel her heart's in it. It's just not in it right this second. But like overall, her heart's definitely in it. This is something that's a passion for her. Again, just grounding these energies and the things going on, at home with your husband have been heavy, Yeah. But eventually her focus will shift. It will shift. You see, because it's right there. It's just right there. This will shift. And I'm seeing within about 3 weeks to a month, she's having a pretty big shift back to where she's more focused on her studies. Is she hiding something? Let's see. Is she hiding something? She's just trying to be strong and not have to speak too many of her emotions out because she realizes that, well, definitely her dad doesn't want to hear it. And she sees that you have so much going on with your own stuff and being worried about her. It feels to me like she doesn't want to add to your burden. So when you do ask her, it feels to me she is truthful to you, but she just may be lying by omission by not sharing maybe certain fears, like, whatever it is. The next competition is in a month. If she doesn't do good, she will go down in the rank further. Gotcha. Let's just tune in and see if her energy will be stabilized before that. And apologies, my dogs are hearing someone outside. So, okay. So it's definitely causing her anxiety. This is the competition card. But look at this. She's deciding to move forward and she's feeling this sense of purpose and passion to push forward. But a little bit of this and this is healthy, especially when you're in a competitive thing like this competition. This is actually good energy to have leading up to a competition right here. As hard as that is to say, it is good. It's going to lead her to move back into that energy and find that purpose and passion and move forward. Now, if this was different, say her energy between you and her, this would be more concerning. But because this is about the competition, this is valid. So I don't see that she's lying or hiding anything purposely, but she's just trying not to rock the boat in ways. And as far as her interest more in the video games and stuff, I see that as a coping mechanism to just want to not feel so burdened and heavy with, the family issues going on and falling behind in the competition, just her heart not being in her schoolwork right now. This just feels like a natural escape for her right now, to where there's no pressure. There's no, real sacrifice she has to make. There's no real reward either. I mean, I guess just the instant dopamine hit of being on a video game or a YouTube reel or whatever, Instagram. That kind of is the reward of its own. I do see that, though. I do see that the destiny swap, yeah, look, literal for generations to come. 2 generations involved in the destiny swap. So for sure, you were right on about that. But that's not really coming into this reading, because whatever it was that was going on, you did it. You dealt with it. Victory was yours. Now you're able to move forward. Even if it's going to take the 3D a bit of time to catch up, you're good. You did it. Yeah. That mother is so competitive and is still seeing Kashfi as someone to fight with. Let's just see if that's going to be an issue moving forward. Because what I'm seeing is this big dome around Kashfi's energy and your energy, most likely put there by you, that this mom's going to get bored because you're not fighting back, or Kashfi's not fighting back. And it's just like a clear win. But let's just see if this mom is going to continue to fight toward Kashfi. Look, there's the protection. That's the protection. Yeah, mom's got some spiritual protection around. Even if she does choose to fight, it's going to instantly karmically backhand her, the mom, across the face. Look at that. So whatever you did was more than sufficient. And of course, just keeping up with that, making sure there's no gaps in the fence of your frequency fence here, or bioshield, or whatever you did. Making sure it's airproof and locked down with spirit on guard. And this mom's eventually going to move on to easier targets. Let's put it that way. Not that any other child deserves this, but neither does Kashfi. And it's going to be on their mom to protect them. Yeah. But let's just see anything else going on with Kashfi Amber needs to know about before we move on. No, just letting those natural consequences come through. You still showing up as mom and doing the work that you feel led to do, and especially trusting your intuition, but then allowing Kashfi to put in her own hard work. If she pulls back on that hard work and slacks, the natural consequence of not doing as well is going to show, and that'll be punishment enough, because she wants to be competitive in this math stuff. So if that's what she wants, she's going to have to work for it. And she will. She will. Yeah, that's what you've been telling her. Yeah. And anything else? Yeah, she's going to figure it out. She's stepping back into that leadership role in her own studies, to where you're not going to have to be the one leading her along, because she's just going to want to do it. But again, 3 weeks to a month from now, something's going on that's going to push her, maybe with a bit of anxiety in that competition, to show up for herself and for her team, if it's like a competitive team, or if it's just for herself. But it's not going to stay exactly like this forever. Yeah. I want her to be herself, not to do something out of force or due to her dad who won't listen. Yeah. And let's just see if Kashfi is going to be acting moving forward from authenticity. Yeah. Look, she's balancing the 3D reality and the, and the spiritual. And kids do this so much better than adults. So there's really nothing we have to do to, feel like we have to make something happen in the spiritual realms for our kids. They are just more naturally gifted, because they're closer to the age where they just came in than we are. They don't have all this programming overlay. I mean, they have a bit for sure, but not 40 years worth that we have, 40 plus years. So she's actually much more in tune with her own needs than you would think she would be. She really is. So when she is acting out and defiant, what I see is that the 3D is just taking her out of balance. She's too much in the 3D and not enough in her own body or her own spiritual state. She is not supposed to satisfy her dad. Yeah. And she does get affected by his constant mood swings and outbursts, which who wouldn't be? Even your most spiritually evolved person that lives in the 3D world like we do, that's in a family dynamic, is still going to somehow be affected by someone's outbursts and mood swings, because it's a human response. It really is. So until he can get his ish under control, you and Kashfi both are going to be affected. It's just that there's no way around it. Unless she were to somehow completely, disassociate and, you know, completely detach from her own body, which is very unhealthy. You feel helpless, do your best to make up, but I'm affected equally. Exactly. And your best advice with that, let's just see. Eventually something's going to give, but I don't see him purposely slowing down anytime soon, but eventually something's going to give. But have some patience, because something will shift, something will change. And just know, you keeping her in this dynamic, that's really your, at this point in your journey, it is your best path forward, just because for you to, just go off on your own right this second and not have a job, not have any security, like that would be more traumatizing to her, ripping the rug out from under her in the life that she's already living, than just continuing to be in it until something shifts. So make the most, that's what I'm saying, is make the most of what you have here. And of course, still doing all your spiritual protection, talking with her, communicating with her is going to be key to let her know the way your dad acts, that's on him. That has nothing to do with you. And if my mom, I hid a lot of my emotions from my mom as a kid. I would cry myself to sleep almost every night, just about the way that I knew my dad didn't love me. I thought it was my fault. Just so much. I kept it in until I was completely alone. So my mom didn't even know I was struggling as much as I was with the fact my dad didn't want me in his life. But I know if I were to have gone to her and said, I'm so sad, and like, she'd have totally done the thing that moms do. But I never, maybe in the moment, if a tear got out, she would understand. She had to know I was hurt by the way my dad acted most of my growing up. She had to know. My sister really didn't seem to care in a lot of ways, and my brother just got angry. I bottled it all up. And then, like, to this day, my sister's just like, yeah, I don't really care. And that's valid too. We all three of us kids had a completely different yet also natural response to my dad's rejection of us. But I would say one word of advice for you, Mom, Amber, would be just to check in with her often and explain to her that her feelings are valid and his feelings are also valid, but the way he's going about spewing them all over the whole household is not a proper way for him to handle that at all. So that can help kind of undo some of, the damage, or just the example he's setting is, this is what husbands and fathers do to their wife and their kid. It's so not, but that's her, reality. That's your reality. And you can tell her this is not normal, but this is what's happening. So there's a lot you can do to support her and yourself through this until you can remove yourself from the situation, or until something shifts or changes. But again, you would be putting both of you in more trauma and danger just trying to separate right now without any kind of plan or finances or any of that, than just trying to ride the waves. It's a hard place you're at. So my heart does go out to you, that this is not an easy dynamic, and I can totally empathize and sympathize and have compassion for what you're going through and what she's going through. Yeah. I feel helpless to do my best to make up, but I'm affected equally again. Yeah, that's why I've not taken that step. We even had a reading about it last year, and I do see that being a definite potential for you to do, but again, it's going to come with you having your own income and planning ahead and having a safe place to land after that would happen, or something else shifting or changing. But just trying to act on impulse, or like, I can't take it anymore, and like going your way, would be more dangerous for you just with all the stuff that's at stake. Yeah. So it's not an easy untangling of what all's going on here. It's definitely not easy. Yeah, I say all the time. She cried the other day, saying that she misses his involvement in her life. He doesn't play with her, encourage her, spend time with her. She cried. Yeah, I've been there too. So I totally can put myself in those shoes like it was yesterday. Because same girl, same. And it hurts. It hurts so bad. And Amber, I'm sure you dealt with a lot of that from your own father throughout the years as well. And the abuse and the trauma and everything. Like it just, it's hard. It's so hard. Yeah, this incarnating in this life, in this realm is not for the faint of heart, for sure. But I probably should move on. I got to go pick the kids up like very soon. And I got to actually run to my sister's house to pick up my oregano oil that she borrowed from me when they were sick. Or, oh, worse, I was denied even basic clothing. Yeah, exactly. So you got to look at Kashfi's situation as a step in the right direction, even though it's not perfect yet. Or will it ever be? Who knows? Not while in the 3D realm. Even the most perfect of perfect families, we're still programmed in this matrix system. So like even the best of us have it really bad in this matrix. If you compare it to other realms, I'm sure. But do the best with what you've got, you know? And when that shifts in your financial, way of life shifts and things can change, then you can take those next steps, But hopefully that was enough to at least give you a bit of clarity and comfort here. Yeah. All right, Florence. Let's go to Florence's question. I know she posted it up here. I might have to timestamp too. Yes, timestamp. Okay. So we're at 2:31:18. Florence B. Okay. I would like guidance from my spirit for my path right now. And timestamp. Yes. Okay, here we go, Florence. So guidance from spirit. This is a full read for Florence. Guidance from spirit for Florence's path right now. Okay, Florence. Well, my sister just texted me. I will be here already, so whenever is good for me. Sorry, work is still sick. Oh, worm. Yeah. So there might be a message. So I don't know if you've been sick or sick of working or something going on with work, Florence, but when a text message comes through for some reason and I'm reading, it sometimes has association. So if you've been feeling overburdened or just like, oh, like what's next? Like what's my next step? Things aren't going to get worse than they already are right now. And in fact, you're actually moving into better energy. This could be purely mental too. Like things may be going just fine in the physical reality, but just mentally you're like anxious, stressed, worried, maybe some depression, anything like that that's going on. I do see this dark cloud moving out very soon. Let's just see. Yeah. Anything you're looking to dismantle or overcome or crumble in your life, you're going to be able to move forward and do that. And this feels like something you're deciding to dismantle or walk away from or move on from, not something that's going to be that rug ripped out from under you. You're making this choice. This is an internal detonation rather than, life happening to you rather than for you. But a realization and walking away from old habits, old energies is going to bring some really big clarity and this sense of peace and this sense of also excitement to move forward with something going on in your life. Guidance for your spirit, from your spirit for your path right now. Yeah. So this might even look like this internal tower moment sometimes can look like a bit of a void space or even sometimes a dark night of the soul that you could go through. But it's leading you to further spiritual development, spiritual enlightenment, self-actualization, all these things. So whatever hardships or big decisions you have to make about maybe walking away from something or someone or making a big shift in your life where something feels heavy or burdensome, it's going to lead you to a spiritual breakthrough. So this is all not just to make you upset, make you sad, make things hard for you. It's actually leading to your liberation is what I'm hearing. Anything else for Florence on her path ahead? Yeah. And a lot of emotional balance, especially in your emotions, or just feeling very in tune to your emotions, allowing your emotions to flow. You're not bottling them up. You're not snapping at people. You're just feeling them as they come and then letting them roll on out, letting them go, coming and going. This also could look like or indicate a romantic partnership or relationship. Let's just see if that's what's coming through here for you, Florence. Potential love coming online for Florence. Okay. I can see that that's something you're wanting or hoping for eventually. Especially if past relationships or circumstances didn't quite work out. I do see that shifting, but I do see again, there's this element of you overcoming bad habits or old versions of yourself to step into those new versions of yourself, releasing those old things, when this is the energy going on, of course you want to let that go. Of course you want to release that. This could even be stuff from past life that's just in your energy field that's come up to the surface for you to just let it go. You don't even have to attach to it, put a hat on it, put a story to it, nothing. You can just feel it and let it go. You don't even have to go down all that, hard work of trying to figure out, why do I feel like this? But as far as love goes, there is someone in your future. That's a given. There may even be two significant someones that at some point you're going to choose between them. But this also could be read as your own self-love and the love of a partner. But with the Magician coming out with that combination, this is about you having more control or power here to manifest this reality for yourself than you're giving yourself credit for. So what you think about most predominantly will be the outcome you're getting. So if you're constantly thinking, oh, I'm single, I hate being single, I wish I had love, that's basically reaffirming the reality. I don't have love, I don't have a partner, blah, blah, blah. But if you are tuning in, ooh, I just saw an orb. Whoa, I just saw an orb. Okay, spirits on deck. If you can tune in to that lifetime reality, which is in this lifetime, where you have that partner, where you're content with that partner and you're connected with them, even if not in the 3D, you can connect to their spirit right now, even if you feel so inclined. You can talk to them, you can ask them questions and maybe try to listen for answers. You can tell them what you're looking for in a connection. These can all be valid ways, even if you can't picture what that person looks like, but you know how they make you feel. And then you go into a scene in your mind. You can do this. The more often you do it, the better, because it will start to solidify that reality where you are being treated in a connection the way you want to be treated. So be it, you want to be taken on trips and travel and given expensive gifts, or if you just want someone to share your home with and your life with, or, have really deep conversations with, whatever it is you're looking for, as far as like, this would be 100% perfect person for me. It's like you are tuning into that and creating that reality, and that soulmate that is that person that you're already tuning into their energy. You think, oh, I'm creating this out of thin air. No, you're already tuning into someone who exists that is your soulmate, that is waiting for you to tune into them. So it's almost like a radio station that's already out there and you're just tuning the dial, because your desires really are leading you to that, proverbial radio station that already exists. It's already on a wavelength. You just need to tune into it, and then there it is. You'll find your way to it. Yeah. Anything else in general in life about Florence's path? Woo! It landed in my shoe. It landed in my shoe, and it was, oh, we had this card earlier. I just put it back, but it came out in reverse. So I just heard that Missy Elliott song, something like flip something and reverse it. Let me look it up. I feel like it's relevant. So, and I don't really listen to Missy Elliott. I think the song's called, something goes like, when you move, I move, just like that. Something like that. Let's see, Missy Elliott. I think it's called Work It, maybe. Oh, and that's funny because we started the reading because my sister, look, she was like, I will be here already. So whenever, and she meant to say worm is still sick, but she said work is still sick. But yeah, this song is called Work It. Okay. DJ, please pick up your phone. Oh, funny. Because I picked up my phone when my sister texted to start your reading, Florence. How funny. I'm on the request line. Oh, and we were also kind of talking about radio station right before this, and then DJ, radio station, pick up the phone, request line on the radio. Wow. What synchronicities. This is Missy Elliott, one-time exclusive. Come on, is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Yeah, there we go. And then I don't know what those next two lines are saying there. Is that a different DNA something? I don't know what that is. If you got a big, let me search ya to find out how hard I gotta work ya. And then another, I mean, it's kind of sexual, but it's like, what was the, like, if I move, you move, just like that, something like that. But you putting that energy into your future soulmate, you know, they are your soulmate, but you know, in the future you will be coming into contact with them. But if you can tune into their energy now, move each other closer, because it's a very sexual song. I did not realize that. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty sexual. I'll just let you, if you feel so inclined, you can look up Work It by Missy Elliott. I think I was like 20. Yeah, I was 20 when this song came out, and I, even then, little naive 20-year-old me did not even know what this song. I thought it was like a dance song. I don't know. I mean, it does have some choice words in it that should have turned my mind into that direction, but it just didn't. It was a fun song to dance to back in the day at the bar. When I was hanging out with all my college friends, but I should have known. Let's just get a closing statement for Florence, and then we're going to wrap up the live stream, I think. Let me just double check that we're not leaving anyone hanging on donations here. No, we're caught up. Okay, cool. Okay, fell right into my lap. Okay, so Florence, you can get out of your head as far as, oh, I don't have it yet, you know, all the, you know, feeling like you don't have what you want, or feeling trapped in any way, not just in potentially love, but any way, shape, or form in life. And instead tune into the timeline where that thing already exists. You don't even have to create anything out of thin air. You don't, because all potentials already exist. It's just about getting out of your head and stop experiencing what you don't want to experience, and start tuning yourself to the timeline where you experience exactly what you want, whatever it is. Whatever it is. All right, Florence, I hope that resonated for you. But yeah, it feels like you're on the right path. Just keep moving forward. Anything that is looking like you wanting to end, you know, bad habits, or cutting certain people out of your life, or just wanting to level yourself up in some way, that means you're sacrificing or giving up your old life, your old version of yourself, which is not a bad thing. So, you know, having to lose something or die to the old version of yourself, it feels scary, but it's not a bad thing. So, yeah. All right, you guys. Well, happy Friday, and I will be back here Wednesday. You know, fingers crossed everyone's feeling good and we can just keep on flowing, keep on going. I'll be back here Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Woo Woo Wednesday live stream. I want to say we'll probably do a free one card pull that day, maybe cosmic question. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but you'll be the first to know. But thank you guys again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Much love, peace, and I will see you next time. All right, bye. Wait, we probably heard the radio edit, to be fair. Probably on the radio station, because they weren't playing those words for sure. I love it. All right, much love, you guys. Bye. All right, end stream. Here we go. Bye for real this time. All right, much love. See ya.